unfair to us. We are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Oh, there we go. Great start to the show. I forgot to take the picture down. How are you, folks? Hope you're having a very nice Sunday, and I do hope you are out and about enjoying what appears to be pretty blue skies in Sydney, a little sort of overcast and blue in places in Brisbane, and Melbourne, I'm not quite sure yet. We haven't seen too many pictures out of there, but we will get to there in the not-too-distant future. At the moment, you can see in Sydney, they are starting to gather, and there is quite a reasonable crowd there at the moment. And I want to thank Turning Point, Joel and his crew. We're taking pictures from him today, and we will also, at various different times, be popping over to... there you go. I've got to do this first. We will pop over to a different feed from Chris Goveries as well, who's currently having a bit of a chat with a few people as they are rolling up to the Sydney event. Got Clayton, who will be at the Brisbane event, but of course Brisbane is another hour or a bit under an hour away yet, so folks are still turning up there. And in Melbourne, Tony, our stringer, is on his way to the event. We had a great long phone call this morning, and I've probably made him late, truth be told. So yeah, a bit of a bummer. G'day, Andrew. Nice to have you in the house. Fern's here. Mr. Grace from Pinaroo. Trust you're doing all right. Dusty, Alan, the rest of the crew are in. And we have the Waving Wonder, who is with us on a Sunday morning. I can't believe it. Thank you, mate. So Vince is going to try and help us coordinate this today. It could be fun between the two of us. We're both trying to scan and find live feeds coming from the various different events as they come out. We haven't had a rush of camera people, and I understand, because it's a pain in the ass to actually do this. So you've got to be a little bit dedicated to it all. But that does, well, it'll play out as it plays out throughout the day. So if it all gets too hard, we'll say goodbye and go and enjoy your afternoon. As you can see, some shots coming out of Sydney there at the moment. In fact, what we might do is bring up Chris and his crew.
Listen, no, hold on.
What are we looking at? What are we, the gimbal?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a cheapy little hole.
They make some nice gimbals.
You're Chris from you are. I'm sorry, I've got the little remote in my hand.
You got to. Okay. Show us this. So you're doing. Oh, see, this is what Coham does great.
Yes, it was like only $200, Amazon. But you know,
I do like the Osmo 7 Pro's face tracking, so it just works.
Yeah, well, this one does have it, but you've got to use the whole map.
$50 whatchamacallit. Well, his man's got to carry around a 20-kilo MCM on his shoulder, and he's like.
There's a message from the outback.
Playing a heap of Aussie music. That's always going to keep us entertained on a day like today. And looks like a pretty good roll up there in Sydney at the moment. So some great pictures coming out of Turning Point, and I want to thank them, as well as Chris Goveries, who will be popping back to once he finishes his little microphone and camera review. But you're getting a good idea, folks, of what goes on behind the scenes. And we all catch up. We check out each other's gear. Oh, yeah, you've got that. How does that work? And is that easy to get around to? So who else have we got calling up? Aussie Sue. Morning, darling. I hope life on the island this morning has turned out quite well for you. We got sprayed heavily yesterday morning and, of course, had thunderstorms and the weirdest shaped hail anybody has seen in an age that came through, well, actually areas not far from where I am at the moment. I think there was, well, certainly the weirdest chunk of hail in shape I've ever seen. It almost looked like a star. Very weird. Anyway, very savage storm, lots of wind, lots of trees down, lots of stuff blown around. And yes, yesterday morning, they were just constantly spraying. So I think from the night beforehand, it was, yeah, pretty woeful. More coming up on that in the near future too. Nice to see One Nation, and they will be supporting the march today all around Australia. I think Malcolm and Pauline will be in Brisbane, but I believe they're going to be represented in other parts. Obviously in Sydney, there are some members there who are turning up, which is good stuff. And might just take this opportunity to bring the big fella back in. And Vince, there's been some interesting noise over the last couple of days about Barnaby Joyce leaving the Nationals and joining One Nation. I believe he's made the announcement.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's now going to change the complexion of the political landscape in Australia. Now, I know most of the people who follow this don't believe we can find a political solution because they're all corrupt. It doesn't really matter. But this, at least, has the potential, I think, should Barnaby and Pauline be able to keep it together, not fight about leadership and not worry about who's doing what and owning where. I think, you know, there is a good chance that there's some good stuff could come out of this. Just have a bit of a look at what's... Oh, I've got to pull that one down to this one back up. So a little noise there from
too much immigration.
Discoveries.
So that's what we need to have. We need to have a breather.
Now, this is in many ways a clearer policy than most other parties who are against immigration. Gerard Rennick, for example, polled well in Queensland, but was booted from speaking this week because of some tweets which were, at the very least, impolite, but unclear as to where he stood on immigration, talking about who will do the cooking and cleaning. Your position is clearer. Is this, where do the other parties stand in comparison to you? Do you believe you're the leader in this?
Well, look, I like Gerard Rennick, I like Pauline Hanson, okay, and they're all making a valuable contribution. I think the way to really sort of galvanise the people is a simple plan, a 5-year pause. When you talk about net zero immigration, people don't know what you're talking about. Now, I accept that there could be a little bit of harm to the economy by having a pause. Well, we just got to adjust to that. And if we're 18 months into the pause, and there's some really big crisis, like we don't have enough plumbers or whatever, well, we can go and bring some plumbers in that situation. But by and large, we need to mothball the Department of Immigration and start afresh. There's no policy more important than the immigration policy.
Now, this is the Libertarian Party, which you're an MP for, and you're running in New South Wales, coming up in 27.
Well, I'm there till 2031, but we've got a candidate running in 2027, yes.
Who is?
Well, we're deciding that by a Democratic vote shortly.
Right, okay. So I thought that had been concluded, but it might be. I know Jammer is one, and there might be others as well. But this is one of the leading policy. Is this your policy or the Libertarian Party of New South Wales policy?
No, this is a John Ruddock policy.
Okay.
So, look, I very much like the official Libertarian Party immigration policy. I believe it's very smart and it's going to be really good for the country. However, I think that it's a bit convoluted. Okay, so I think during the pause, the Libertarian Party will be making the case very strongly for our market-based immigration program. Okay, and so, but the first step is the pause.
Lovely. Thank you, John. Anything else you want to say before I go? You're speaking today?
I'm speaking today.
What are you going to be speaking about?
These are the best people in Australia, and I want to salute them all. I want to thank them all. I want to thank the organisers that defied the PSYOP, and this is the most important issue: immigration. Taxes. If you've got taxes too high, you can reduce them. Regulation too high, you can reduce it. But a bad immigration policy is almost impossible to reverse. So let's not risk what's happening in Western Europe. Let's have a pause.
Thank you, John.
Love the way John Ruddock's speaking there. Let's go to Melbourne.
All right, let me see. Flags. from the front to the back. And can we all stand together, united? Australian soul, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We're going so well to our home by sea. Our land about nature's of beauty, rich and rare. In history's pages, every state, proud to Australia fair. In joyful spring and let us sing and proud Australia fair. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Victoria. So proud of you all. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to Matt from National Workers Alliance, a wonderful man with a lot of knowledge, who's done a lot of work in helping people to realise what is going on. Matt, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. How's the sound? Can you hear me at the back? Thank you, Judy. Thank you for running up for the anthem. I want to thank everybody for turning up tonight. In particular, I want to thank the women, the families, the children I see here. It takes a lot of courage to attend an event like this in the current political climate, especially in Victoria. You can see the pushback we face from the left. For all of us who are here today, it is our responsibility to educate and motivate those who are not yet quite ready to understand the enormity of what we are facing as a nation and as a people. And they are not ready to address it because they are either distracted by the sports, the entertainment, the material things, or they are disillusioned. I speak to many people who believe that there is nothing they can do, they feel powerless, and that it's over. And my message to those who are demoralised is that it's never over. Because while our hearts still beat, while our hearts still pump the same blood as the men and women who built this nation and our ancestral homelands, it is never over. Do not be demoralised, even with the numbers today. Obviously, the 31st, we had tens of thousands. Today, do not be demoralised. It's always going to be a little more difficult in the current political climate. This is still a beautiful country. This is the greatest time to be alive. This is a beautiful life. And yes, we have a struggle, but it's a beautiful struggle. And we will win. Yes. My name is Matt Troy, and I represent the National Workers Alliance, who are the organisers of today's event, the Second March for Australia. I'm just a tradesman who's had enough. I've had enough of watching what I regard as an illegitimate government destroy the country that I love for what seems my whole life. I've had enough of these parasites who sit in this building behind us, destroying this country. The National Workers Alliance is a nationalist organisation. We proudly advocate for the people of European descent, in the same way that every other ethnic group, racial group should and does advocate for themselves. We are advocating for our people. Yeah. If you are of European descent, you are the descendants of the greatest navigators, explorers, and nation builders in history. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you come from. For those of you who are distracted by TV, would you please make your way back to the front of Parliament? Do not be distracted. Please go back to Parliament.
Here we are.
I want to be very clear on what today is about. And the national organisers were consistent with their message. There are 3 items on the flyer. Stop mass immigration, protect our culture and heritage, and no foreign flags. I will address these 3 issues and then finish with what I believe is the solution. Because today is about solution. I'm going to start with the flags. Why do we only stand with these 3 flags? On the 3rd of September 1901, Australia's first Prime Minister, Edwin Barton, announced the winners of the national flag competition. There are 2 winners. There's the red flag or the red ensign for the merchant fleet. There's the blue flag or the blue ensign for naval and official purposes. The general public started carrying both of these flags as main flags. In 1908, there was a 7th point added to the Commonwealth Star, which sits under the Union flag.
We're going to take that opportunity there to scoot from there to Sydney. Beck's on. Oh, we've got a problem with the sound, though. Let me fix that.
If you've got them, make sure you've got them ready on your phone. Sorry, guys. We're still, getting everything completely set up. Sorry. Hold on 1 sec. Hold on.
Testing.
Well, we might go back to Melbourne while they're still sorting in things out there, I guess.
People held up at Central Station. So if you guys are missing one of your friends that you were meant to be meeting here, please give them a call. Just check in on them and make sure they're all good. If they're not, come let me know and we'll organise for the police to go out and have a look around for them, all right? Now, once again, if we do come in contact with counter-protesters, I understand the need to yell back, to scream back, to fight back. That is only going to make the situation worse. What we'll do, if we run into counter-protesters, listen out and you'll hear us start a chant. Just keep chanting with us. It will annoy them that we're not paying any attention to them and will avoid any trouble starting. Oi, oi, oi! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie! Oi! Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Alright, we're going to put the music back on for now. Keep chatting to the people next year, and in about 20 minutes, we'll make an announcement for the crowd to start gathering at the other end. Thanks, guys.
All right. That looks like there's going to be a march in Sydney. Not sure if they're marching in Brisbane, and in Melbourne. Well, who knows? Let's go back to Melbourne and see what's going on.
My best mate, he's an ex-professional Muay Thai fighter, and he said every kid at some time in their life should learn a martial art, and everyone needs to know what it feels like being punched in the face. These people ever been punched in the face? They don't know respect. You know what I'm saying? They got no respect. No respect at all. How ridiculous is the protest against us today? This will never stop. This is good. What the government wants.
diffuse this. Can I just ask you about your sign?
Sorry, I was going to say, do you want me to? There's a spelling.
Oh yeah. Live direction right there.
I'm a grammar Nazi.
So there are Nazis here today. I found them. The grammar Nazis here. Hail Australia, mate. Hail Australia. See you, mate. There you go. They want your liberty. They go to the That live correction. See you, mate. More One Nation here. A lot of One Nation. See, I've been covering protests for a while and I don't normally see so many signs here. But can I come after Patina here? Patina, lovely to see you. Don't touch me. Okay. Sure, tell us why you've come today. We've spoken before, but okay. People can go hands on. Jenny go hands on. Excuse me. Jenny went hands on. Public place. I'm not going to show a particular. Oh, hold on. Show us. Let me segue straight over to this. Someone does want to be on camera. Tell us about Reform Australia.
Australia is a new party upholding the values that we Australians really care about, and it's a grassroots organisation with the right structure, the right funding, the right candidates. I'm very confident that it's going to be the lifeboat that everyone needs to jump to because the sinking parties have. We'd love members to scan the QR code and join and help us get this movement started. We really believe that this is what Australia needs right now. It's reforms.
Where can people go to find out more? reformaustralia.com.au.
That's right.
Tell us, is there another page?
No.
Who's behind it?
People like you and me. Ordinary Australians getting behind a party that has the right structure, the right funding, and attracting the right candidates. That's who we need.
Right,
Not
so
egos.
you're still getting
It's all
candidates.
It's all about values.
Okay, all right, values first, then candidates
Yes.
come later. Okay, so you're looking for candidates right now. So people who feel that the existing set of parties just don't fit in, don't work, this is it.
Yes.
What kind of, tell us about the policies, some of the policies that have you stand out from other parties.
I think the policies, we're about core values. So freedom of speech, bodily autonomy, no CBDCs, no digital ID. There's a whole list of policies that I definitely don't remember off the top of my head. If you go to the website, they're all listed there. There's a list, more than a dozen.
Cool. Has Cafe Lockdown endorsed?
I don't think so, but I'm endorsing them and supporting them with some merch. Because I love the microphones.
Lovely. Thanks very much. Reform Australia.
Reform Australia. Love Australia. Love Australia. This is your new party.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Craig Kelly. Vote 1, the Libertarian.
Another fantastic crowd here today. And look at all these great Australian flags. I don't think I've seen so many Australian flags in the one place. So I had to bring mine. To make sure to go back to see.
Can I have that again? Wow, that's a flash. Oh yeah, we've got some crowd intervention.
Doing a great job of destroying the country from the inside out.
I had to laugh. Last time I bought a flag for John, but he didn't have it with him, and Arby was like, "Oh, it's not big enough because it's a size competition." Hey.
Let me go back so you can he's barred from the Nationals. Yeah, so he hasn't joined yet. So it's just a matter of time. And so he said, the Railways, there was talk about this happening at the lap.
But I'm looking forward to it. So if I can cut it, if I can give me 1 second, because I want to talk to you about that the 5-year immigration pause. You're not even talking about net zero, you're not going in numbers.
Look at the numbers. Let's take all the emotion out of this.
Once again, I have to say that the Australian police Victorian police do an amazing job. I said that last time, I say it this time, I'll say it every time. The Australian police do an amazing job at keeping the protesters apart from each other.
Now look at compare that to historical record.
And here,
we go back
as you can see, once again,
we're averaging less than 100,000.
It's sweet FA. This time I got enough guts to go up a little bit closer to see what was going on.
With the migration in just 3 years. And we are
doing
this country from the
inside
out.
Destroying it.
Shut up.
Calm down, mate. Just
migrants. You're all idiots.
No, I didn't say that.
But I can point out Vietnamese, South Vietnamese, who may not follow the Indian diaspora regulation, 85%.
No, but there's no difference. Why is Labor post-Bolsonaro doing immigration policy? Because what Labor wants to know what the voting patterns are of the big place. That's the only reason why they do it.
There was a couple of guys all
right. They know the voting
Let's just get back to the tree line, because if the police start beating up one guy, then it's going to kick off.
So if you look at those pure numbers, right? The country simply cannot absorb, right? And it's not just a matter of, as you remember, we are building no more houses, right?
It's not even housing, it's cultural.
Yeah. We are building no more houses today, right, than we were building when we were importing 100,000 people a year. The housing numbers haven't increased. And you can't just say, we're going to increase housing construction. It just doesn't work. You've got all the supply limitations across the production chain.
Yeah, it looks like Craig's identifying things pretty well there before the protest or the march gets underway. In Melbourne, though, there are some interesting things happening. A few of the bigger groups have just managed to arrive by the look of it. There does seem to be a counter-protest happening. That's why the police are trying to separate the two groups by the look of it. And we'll keep an eye on that. Tony, our stringer is there, as you can see, right at the very front of the line. So thank you very much to Tony for everything that he's doing today. There's just been a large bunch of people walk up on the police, which I was watching while Craig Kelly was speaking with Chris. Now, the police are just holding the line at the moment. They do not want the March for Australia to progress down that road because there is a counter-protest. And what's the counter-protest going to be about exactly? You would have thought Palestinians, but in the events of last week, that wouldn't make much sense, would it? I mean, the hostages have been returned. peace, for all intents and purposes, has been settled. So I'm not sure. Maybe these counter-protesters haven't got the message that we are marching for Australia. Or are they against that? Is that the countering part of the protest? Don't really know which way it's going at the moment, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Oh, thank you, Vince. Doing well. I'll remove that then if you're going to change things around. And we'll put Craig back up.
Passwords can be saved. I don't think it can be saved. Right? I think what has to happen, I think a split has to occur. There are too many, I call them bedwetters in the Liberal Party. We saw it during COVID, how bad they were, how they're frightened to speak up against any sort of narrative pushed by the ABC and the media. The place is full of bedwetters. Now, we've seen the success Farage has had in the UK. Right? Farage, with the Reform Party in the UK, is now leading the polls. And what is their policy on net zero? They want to scrap it. What is their policy on immigration? They want to reduce it greatly. If the coalition, if there's a few members of the coalition, they have enough backbone to say, okay, I cannot sit in this party room if you're going to continue in this party to support the policies of net zero, which damages our country and puts our country at a competitive disadvantage.
What would you do to win some of them? Because you can't get rid of that. You're not getting Alex Hawke over there, mate.
No, so no.
What would you say to win? What would you
what
moderate
I would say, if I was advising Andrew Hastings, I'd say, when the decision comes down and they bedwet on net zero and they bedwet on every other policy,
what do you give it? What do you give up?
What do you mean? So
what you're going to sit in the chair, you're going to give up something. What is Hastings or what?
No. So I'd say, Andrew, don't become the leader of the Liberal Party. The leadership is rotten. The sales are threadbare. The timbers are eaten by wood borers, right? And half the crew will run the ship on the rocks and stab the captain at the first opportunity. Is that the ship you want to really take over? There's no point in doing it. You are far better to separate.
We need
go
to
and be an
support
independent,
I don't care if it's
several
not one
like-minded members, then go and start your own party and call for all the other minor parties to amalgamate under one roof. Do what Menzies did in the 40s when he had that conference in Auckland and united all the minor parties
124 years later, saving our nation will require the will of the people. Will require a will to power, a willingness
the
to
Liberal Party
sacrifice.
actually, if you look at the Conservative side of politics, the Liberal Party are actually the minority side. And the Liberals and Nationals are polling 28, 29%.
Even if it's not your time or energy to educate and motivate.
So the Liberal vote by itself,
But the only way
both the left
is
and right
raise hand change,
is around 21-22%. We know one nation is at least 10, right? The Nationals are 7, they're 17. You've got
what I
a
call
couple more from
the
Libertarians, a couple more from Jared Rennick's mob, Canada, Family First,
We are the
throw them all into the mix. And that Conservative side of politics is actually greater today than the Liberal side without the Liberal splitting. Thanks.
See you through the march.
The working class never
I
thought
think so,
change in
yes,
elections. Only comes about when we have support for those from the second estate as with money and full power. When people start to realise that we are part of compromise. This is not about us. This is about the legislature. It's what we're responsibility. Those who left us in the greatest country on earth. We have the responsibility to raise those girls who gave their life to this country. So when the second estate, when Victoria Police, the members of that military, when those with money, influence, power, the corporate leaders, when they decide that they've had enough, that there are things more important than their share portfolio or their property portfolio or what sort of car they've got. When they decide that we are part of something else, then we will get together and take down the first estate. We finished with something by remember I regard the great Irish conservatives. I've Irish blood on my father's side. A people that fought the British for 753 years. And I'm sure there were times when they were disillusioned, demoralised, but they never gave up. They never gave up, and the battle for Ireland is still not over. Ireland will be free, Erin got up. They are suffering the same problems we are. I've got peers. was the leaders of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. In 1916, he took the Dublin Post Office, raised the tricolour and the Republican flag, and held off the British who were 20,000 for a week. They succumbed to the numbers, and in May 1916, Padre, his brother Willie, and 13 others were executed. They made the blood sacrifice for their people, for their nation. Padre wrote a poem called The Rebel. And I believe the last stanza is just as relevant today as it was in 1916. And I say to my people's masters, beware. Beware of the thing that is coming. Beware of the risen people who shall take what you would not give. This is it to conquer the people, and that law is stronger than life, or than men's desire to be free. Who shall try it out with you? Ye that have hurried and held, ye that have bullied and bribed. Tyrants, hypocrites, liars. And so I say, in October 2025, to those people who see themselves the political and cultural elites, who believe themselves to be our master, I say beware of the thing that is coming. Because some people will never accept what they are doing to the country that we love.
God bless Australia.
And some people will never give up. In the words of Padre Pierce, Shoki Allah, our day will come. Thank you for being here. Before the next speaker, I'm going to play a song that you will at least know the chorus. Many of you will know the full version. If you know this song, at least the chorus, I want to hear full voice this iconic piece of Australian identity, history, culture. Raise your flags, hold your flag with pride, and sing the chorus of this song.
We have volunteers for People First Party, which is Gerard Rennick's party. He was a senator, a Liberal senator for a long time, but lost his position in the Senate because he's not. But anyway, he's here now. He's developed a whole bunch of very good policies. They're all on the website. If you look at that, there's a QR code. And that's how you can get into his website and you can see what he's planned for this nation. And he's fiscally very, very confident. So he wants to bring infrastructure back to this nation. He wants to get rid of foreign debt. He wants to make vitality, review all the bureaucracy, the bloated stuff. He wants to reform education and judiciary. Yes, he's good. Vote for him. Go on his website. We'll continue later.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be going on our
Down in the slaughter, mounted on his in the who's a trolley from you got him. I'm a walk.
Enjoy the march, guys. Go
Never touch your lives when these blues who pass by come along to the dream.
Alright guys, so we just need to wait for police to close up the road for safety reasons, obviously. So we're going to wait here for about 5 minutes. We'll listen to some music and then we will start marching. Alright, get ready guys.
Ian, is this yours? Thank you.
You are an absolute legend. Even though the Nazis were here, you showed everyone it was a good day.
No, thanks,
so I really appreciate it.
It was a good day.
Come talk to us later. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Right, so just as they're getting themselves ready to march in Sydney, slip back to Melbourne.
tried to gain access to my neighbour's house, and whilst in the process were interrupted and thankfully chose to drive away. Now this really scared my family and the surrounding estate, especially after we did a little bit of research, discovered how violent some of these crimes committed in the 8 burgs can be, and also how often they go unreported. Now, I believe my neighbour might have done the same basic research, as he soon sold the car and set up security cameras. And disappointingly, whilst doing this research, I soon learned, like I was shocked, that I may go to jail. If someone broke into my house while my family slept, and I attacked them, which of course every red-blooded Aussie would, off to jail I potentially go. So I mean, that's how much trouble this country's in. That's how pathetic our leadership is. It's clown world. That's it, man. Now, speaking of my family safety, I worry about my beautiful daughters and how increasingly vulnerable they are out in public. I now know sexual assault has gone up by 55% in a 2-year period. The same period of time that we have been given turbo immigration from all over the world. Goodness knows what some of these societies are like. And yeah, I worry about it. I don't believe I'm being paranoid when I instruct my oldest daughter, always make sure there are people on the same train carriage. Don't catch Ubers by yourself. I'm sure a lot of parents here would agree. Try to watch your drinks and your friends in the nightclub. But unfortunately, they can't watch everything. I can't always be there. It was certainly easier in a high-trust, honourable society. But again, how did it come to this? How did it come to this? Am I paranoid? I think I have a right to be. Lately, my favourite topic to try and understand is housing affordability. Why do all the experts, the media, the talking heads, why now do they only touch on immigration, but don't have any real opposition against it, bringing more people into this country? Maybe just not 2 million more, like Albanese proposed. Maybe 1.6 million is a better number, they might say. They will not conflate housing supply with housing demand. And I mean, when you undertake a small business course, like I have, like many people have, it's in the first chapter, if I remember. I think it's titled Supply and Demand. It's that easy, right? If our government is allowing one new arrival to live here every 55 seconds, an average family of 4 would equate to every 4 minutes a house or a unit must be built. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We need one new dwelling available every 4 minutes because the demand from immigrants is exceeding the supply of housing. Often these people have government incentives, community help, or existing wealth, which helps them enter the property market immediately. Sydney. Now, the median house price is a whopping $650,000 to $850,000. Personally, I believe it's more. In the short term, yes, that makes people that own their own home or have an existing mortgage feel rich because they've made money, especially the boomers. Sorry, Uncle Bob. But unfortunately, my kids and your kids are going to have to work harder for their deposit. They're going to work longer each week to make repayments. There goes the big cat gun. Woo! Let them have it. They're going to work weekends. They're going to have less time with their children. They might live further out in a smaller house and all on a 30-year mortgage, and the list goes on. The list goes on.
The police has deployed flashbangs here. They deployed flashbang grenades. Yeah, at the pro-Palestinian lefties. They all ran like scattered sheep. Fuck, it was loud. Fuck them, I know, mate. They're bloody idiots. Not at the moment. Record. Can I do that? Can I do that while I'm in the app though? I think I got to get out of the app and go in the camera. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll record it on this phone because I can have it open with the camera. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, sorry, mate. All right, talk to you.
So I've just been talking to Tony in Melbourne, and Tony's picture up there. Now, the police are very active in Melbourne. There has been a counter protest in Melbourne this morning, and yes, it appears to be for the Palestinians. I guess we've got to forgive them. It's a bit cold. Maybe they haven't thawed out after winter yet. Brain hasn't quite got lubricated, or they haven't caught up on the news of the last week. If anything, they should be out celebrating, I would have thought, rather than protesting. But this just seems to be one of those protests organised to be against Australia, because there is no reason for a counter protest to happen any further for Palestine, is there? Is there? I could be wrong, but it strikes me as a little weird indeed. Very, very, very weird indeed. We do have a few audio problems coming out of Tony's phone, so that's a bit of a bummer, unfortunately. But we do aim to try and fix that for you as fast as we can. In Sydney at the moment, in fact, let me put one of these up. In Sydney at the moment, oops, I think this is. I've got so many screens open here. I've got to try and figure out which one I'm on. So there are a couple of different feeds. This is the Turning Point feed. Joel and his crew, who are marching through the streets of Sydney. The Melbourne marches seem to have been pretty much corralled, as the police in Victoria have been doing recently in front of Parliament, and not too much by way of marching, it appears to be going on there. Haven't heard or seen anything yet out of Brisbane, but Clayton, who's on his way there, should be there in the next few minutes, so we'll get a bit of an idea of how the Brisbane crowd turns out. By and large, it looks like it's a very respectful crowd absolutely everywhere, and I don't know that I've heard any neo-Nazi or any other kind of speech, so people have to be reasonably happy that that has transpired. What have we got here? I'm going to remove that. Try and remove that. That's that. That's the wrong one to remove. It's going to put up a different screen, which it now won't allow me to do. How very strange. I'll do it this way then. This is Chris Goveries, who is streaming on a couple of different channels this week, as well as on X, thanks to Chris and his team. Mainstream media are getting out and doing a little bit of a report on it all, which is, well, it'll be interesting to see how they portray it, won't it? Looks like a pretty reasonable turnout in Sydney, and certainly attracting a few stares from those having their lunch and whatnot in and around the CBD in Sydney today. Don't let us disturb you, folks. You can go and enjoy your $13 latte, and don't worry about the world. Don't worry about your other fellow human beings. Don't worry about the bastardization that this government is conducting against this nation. It's okay. You'll be fine. You can go back to your tent tonight if you're lucky enough to have one, and have a sleep. I'm probably being a little bit disingenuous there. So, yeah, the crowd is quite significant in Sydney. Numbers looked to be a little down in Melbourne, but judging by the police force that has been shown on the streets there, maybe a number of people sort of may have been turned away, as happened last time in Melbourne. They actually stopped the trains from coming in, so people who would have ordinarily caught a train straight to Flinders Street Station were unable, and that meant that a lot of people who were attending the march couldn't attend. And for those that did manage to get into the CBD, they found that they were kettled by the police into various different areas and not allowed to move through interacting protest areas. So I'm not sure if that same sort of thing has happened today. It is quite possible. Like Jesse's managed to get a hold of the microphone.
You're fucking coming! You're coming, dog! Fuck them up! So they're the fucking criminals! They're the scumbag! They're the ones that hate attention, these dogs! I'm standing. Okay. Calm down. What? How are you?
Okay, so it looks like Victoria Police has sort of black bag, correct?
Yeah, flashbangs. Yeah.
And has told the pro-Palestine people to disperse. So we're going to be marching soon.
There's a shields.
These commie dogs!
Yeah. That's right.
So who's the problem here?
Us or the commie?
We'll give them a free ride back out in a leaky boat. We'll put them on a free ride on a
Fight for it. No, it's a human right. And here they are enjoying our freedoms, treating them like they can just walk all over us, laugh at us, and we're going to do nothing. This was needed a long time ago. We should be proud of our Australians finally standing up for our human rights and saying, hey, we want you to come here. We want you to keep your own culture, but you're supposed to respect everyone else's culture and get along. You're supposed to come here legally so that we can all enjoy the freedoms. That's what we're here for. We're not here for anything else, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't need to work hard for that view. That was easy. Good day, guys. What do you think?
I don't know what is protest.
They want less immigration.
Less immigration.
Yes.
Actually, we are also from outside, so no. But it should be action taken about like who are illegals, who are legal. So I think they should not have any problem. Yeah. So, but about illegal person, yeah, the government take action about that. Yeah.
Thanks for your views. Chris Goverys. The channel's called Chris Goverys. Oh, tell us, what do you think, ma'am? They want less immigration.
From here.
That's okay. You can still have a view. It's a free country for now.
Oh, I am for whatever they're for. I wish we had this back in the States. In the States, we have the opposite.
Yeah, you kind of do. It's
Yes,
a funny one.
It's very sad.
It's a funny one. It is. Thanks for your time. See you. Bye. Chris Goverys. Live stream on Chris Goverys. See you later. Okay. Tell us, what do you think?
Oh, no thanks.
Oh, just yes, no, yeah, you.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
Where are you from?
They want less immigration.
That's okay. They're entitled to that opinion. I think they're fighting the economic mismanagement of this country. Immigration is just a byproduct of the economic mismanagement. I don't think anyone has a problem with like well-controlled immigration. It's economic mismanagement that people are complaining about.
Thank you, views. Thank you. That was a simple view. No, it's not. You're good. What do you think?
Cool.
They want less immigration.
Good.
Good?
Up there.
There we go. Not simple enough. Oh. Boy. What do you think, mate? What do you think of them? They want less immigration. What do you think of the... Oh, no English? Hello? That's okay, you can have a view. It's a free country. They want less immigration. What do you think?
Immigration?
Less.
That would be fine. I think it would be better if there's
Less immigrations. What do you mean by less immigrations?
Less. Some want none. Some want remigration.
Pre-migration? I'm not so sure about it. Sorry.
Okay, all right, I gotta go. Okay, see you, man. It's about the best you get to do is...
It's interesting to hear the
What do you reckon, mate? What do you think?
I think that's very interesting.
Oh, you live here. They want less immigration. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna hear it. Thanks, mate. Oh, I caught something in my throat. No.
I actually think Chris has got that wrong. It's not about less migration. It's about mass immigration and stopping mass immigration. There's a sort of a bit of a difference in the way that he is phrasing it, sadly. But there you go. It is what it is. Got some pictures coming out of Brisbane. The big fella Bear is at the Brisbane event, and he's just sort of turning up now. Looks like there is another sea of blue there. We might just pull my head out and see what they're saying.
G'day, Carl. Not much being talked about at the minute. They're getting ready to go to the Marsh Parliament House. So we're crossing the river a couple of times this time. So should be fun.
Oh, well, I'm pleased to hear that there will actually be a march this time, big fella.
Look, it's I just did a stair run up to the auditorium in the Roma Street Parklands, thinking that's where I was supposed to go, only to find it completely empty. And a lot of people milling around going, where is it? I'm like, I don't know. So I think a lot of people went to the wrong spot. So not quite as many numbers as last time, but there's still several thousand here.
Okay. So whereabouts have they actually held it then, if it's not at the Parklands?
So, sorry, mate, can you say that again? No. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Carl. Yeah, people talking. What was
that? Sorry, it was probably something I was throwing at you from here. Whereabouts is the address then? If it wasn't at Roma Street Parklands, is it down at the Gardens?
Yeah, so it's at a park in Albert Street, or Roma Street, the end of Roma Street, just before King George Square, behind the Magistrates Court, ironically.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going. The march is taking from here down, going over Melbourne Street Bridge, and then over the walklands to the park, down to the bottom of South Bank, and then across to the Botanical Gardens and up to Parliament House, I think. So,
right.
But I'm not sure when they're actually starting. Have they said when they're going to start? No, everyone's kind of looking bewilderedly.
Crowd looks pretty good, that Clayton.
Bit of singing. So yeah, oh look, everyone's same good humour as last time. You know, everyone's pretty cheery, having a wave. There's a few angry ants who want to stick it up elbow, but that's very Australian, not right wing at all, actually. When was the last time? When was the last time a prime minister wasn't booed at a sporting event? It's an Australian pastime to hate the prime minister, no matter who you voted for. So,
yep.
And we all know the last one was Bob Hawke, and that was only because he was an alcoholic scullathonner.
Well, I think that was at the cricket or the football, wasn't it? He sculled a beer, and they all just thought he was. Yeah.
Everyone gave him a cheer. That was the last time any Australian crowd cheered for an Australian prime minister at a sporting event. So.
Yeah, it's funny that we'll cheer for a bloke. Cheer for an alcoholic
child abuser.
Sculling a beer, yeah. Oh well, we were a nation of hard drinking, hard charging, hard working, hard playing people.
True.
I guess.
True. Still kind of are in some aspects.
Oh, I think we are. We've built a very tough stuff, and you're looking at large numbers of those people built a very tough stuff. They recognise what's going on in the country at the moment, and they want change. They know, a great many of them, the illegalities that have been perpetrated against the people, and they've had enough. So it's great to see so many people turned out. I think this morning in Melbourne, they've made it as difficult as possible for people to get to the event in Melbourne. Sydney
yeah,
seems
look,
to be
always
progressing along nicely. And this one's going really well. Adelaide, hopefully, will be going as well.
Okay, apparently there's a lead vehicle. So I'm going to see if I can get to the front. Just
Righto,
film
mate.
along with all the other guys filming. So
No worries. We'll leave you with that. I'll let you get up there. I'll keep an eye on your pictures.
righto, mate.
There he is, the big fella. And he is a big fella. He's about 6'7", I think. And he is doing a great job mowing his way through the crowds for us today. So can't thank him enough. As I can't thank enough Tony, who is our Melbourne stringer. He's currently giving me a beautiful picture of some grass, but we'll look and see what we can find there a little later. Here's back to Chris Discovery, Sydney.
Still unsure. We are, but that's only because we haven't really seen such a good argument. Well, an argument on the other side that we like. But so far, we're going for One Nation, which I never thought I would say in my life. Yeah, I come from Malaysia too. It's the mass migration.
Studied medicine and assimilated, and he married an English lady. So I'm half
Assimilated,
Australian.
thank you.
Well, I'm all Australian, but Dad's Chinese and Mum's Australian. We're assimilated, and that's why it should be.
Yep. Beautiful country to live in. We are blessed. I've flown all around the world DJing, and every time I come back into this country, I say this is the best country in the world. We want to keep it that way. We want our Western culture upheld, and we want our democracy upheld, and we need to fight for it. We're going to lose it.
Are you a Nazi?
No! Hell no! Hell no! Not a Nazi. Wouldn't even, no. Not at all. I'm actually really offended when people say that because
It's all the dialogue is.
yeah, and
We're
it's
not
wrong.
talking about
it's
numbers,
wrong.
we're not
It's
talking about
actually, if
culture.
anyone is that way inclined, it's the other side.
Have you turned off media that constantly goes on about it?
I've turned off. I used to be an ABC listener, an avid ABC listener and watcher. Now I don't have anything to do with them because they just peddle lies.
Follow-up question: are you giving money to someone else?
Am I giving money to someone else? No,
Because
the
if
only
you're not
people we're
paying-
giving money to is
If you're not, no, I don't know. But if you're not paying for your news,
We pay tax.
someone else is paying for you to watch it. Think about that one. As someone who does this a lot, if you're not paying for news, someone else is paying for you to watch it. Is generally how it works.
Okay.
Think about that one.
All right.
I'm going to go.
Put that in my pipe and smoke it.
Chris
But I'm not gonna
Coveries.
smoke.
I see you,
Please,
bye.
we love Australia.
Great chat. That was a good chat. Dialogue, back and forth. We've got to talk Nazis. Everybody loves to talk some Nazis. Who doesn't? Not one black shirt. Not one. What is a protest? What is a protest without some extremism? Bobby Jindal. Immigration without assimilation is Are you an invader?
No,
You've assimilated.
no.
That's right.
I'm a very beautiful little tiny blue shadow today. Not an invader. Not an invader.
Come, tell us about Bobby Jindal's quote. He's not often quoted, so why Bobby?
This words is exactly what I want to say. I'm not sure if any Australian statesman can realize that, but this is exactly what I want to say.
Okay, thank you.
Well said.
How you doing, Mayor.
How you going?
Mayor Mead. Tell us something. You're the air. You got the mic. Go.
Oh, well, I just think I'm here because, this is, I think this country needs change. And this is probably the biggest movements that's the...
Remigration.
I think we need to have a pause on permanent migration. Because then, like John said, you can't unscramble the omelette. I want to have people come here, but
2 million immigrants have been unscrambled for the United States.
If they're not permanent migrants, you can do that. Yes, so I think people should be here as long as they work. They should be on collective welfare. But
500 people became citizens today. 500 more tomorrow. 800 more next.
And,
is that a pause?
I think we need pulls on that.
Okay.
On the citizenship, yes.
Okay.
Because we don't know where it's heading. I don't think we need necessarily just pause on the permanent migration. I think we want to. I think we have we need to talk about culture. I think we have a good culture here. We want to spread that around the world. We want to spread our values of democracy, and we want people to come and experience that. But visiting is different as a different thing. We want people to welcome people into our homes, but it doesn't mean they stay permanently.
Thank you, sir.
The boys in Sydney are having a very nice time of it. Good on them. Let's go back to Brisbane and have a look. Sorry. Have to mute, I think. This is Brisbane. Obviously, Nevin's got himself back up the front there somewhere, so we'll have a bit of a look there. And also, Chris Goveries is still doing great things in Sydney. Turning Point have had a few issues with streaming, but we'll see how we go. I think I'll add this up. That's Sydney.
So I am late for just because I said don't say that.
Chris, good to see you, Chris.
Ah, comrades! Comrades! Comrades under fire.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Oh, I'm on film. I'm not supposed to speak. I mean, I'm not supposed to talk.
Can you tell us what you can tell us? How's the weather?
I can tell you I love Australia.
Yes.
The weather is beautiful.
Yep.
And the people here are full of love for their country.
Yep.
And it's a party. It feels like 1988 again. God bless you all.
Stephen Chavura, been under fire from the Sydney Morning Herald, calling him a Nazi, I think. Anyway, he's not a Nazi.
None of us are.
But hey, if I read it in the Herald, it's got to be true. Are you saying the Herald's fake news? Come on. No. All right.
No, they write all credible articles about us, especially 2-3 days before protests like this.
Yeah.
It's all credible.
Yeah, hail Australia. Yeah.
Not tactical. Not tactical slander.
No, it's not focused. It's not anything like that.
How's the crowd though, man?
Yeah, big. You know, there's less mainstream media leading up to this. No, I'm still surprised at the side. Hey, do you want to see what the counter-protest looked like?
I saw Herald Sun. They posted a reel on their Instagram just like half an hour ago.
I'm going to play the counter-protest right now.
It's like
the counter-protest. They can't hear us.
Sydney one. Gotcha.
If you want to pop up. I mean, maybe you can.
There's fights in Melbourne.
Yeah.
There's fights in Melbourne at the moment.
Can I? So, Anthony was just mentioning there's fights in Melbourne at the moment. But what I wanted to say was, whether you're a Nazi or not, they provided security last time in Melbourne. The only reason why there wasn't more violence against the March for Australia was because of the black shirts. You may disagree with their ideology, but if you're marching in Melbourne, they kept you safe. So how do you...
Who cares what they call us, man? They call us everything.
Exactly.
The words that they use mean nothing now.
Well, Nazi is everything now.
And then you look at their crowds. They're languishing anyway. They don't have a reason to protest anymore.
No, they haven't delivered. It's just not...
Too bad for them, mate. But
I'm going to go. See you, mate.
Take care.
Let's just shadow this one.
Not against migration.
Sorry, here, 95% of people wouldn't be against migration, they're only against massive immigration.
And where have you travelled from today?
Today I'll come to Yagoona.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Next in line. G'day, mate. How'd that go?
All right.
What did they try and pin you into?
Just asked what I was here for, and so I said,
oh, that's it?
The thing is to say, I'm not against immigration. No, I said 95% people are against immigration, it's against mass immigration. That's the truth. You don't mind, say 100, 120, 130,000, I mean, not
There being 4 or 500,000 a year.
What do you think about remigrating, not just the illegals, but the bulk of who've been mass immigrated over the past 5 years?
It's hard to do it.
Too hard?
I think so, yeah. No one's going, yeah, how you get a problem to take out the legal ones without taking out the migration.
For the illegals, get rid of the illegals, remigrate them?
Even people, they commit crimes, and not Australians, they should be deported. Look at Victoria, where Victoria is.
Yep.
Victoria's a mess, Victoria is in.
While I'm here, I'm just going to play a little clip from Malcolm Roberts. Everyone goes. I'm just going to play. Thank you for your time. I'm going to play a clip from Malcolm Roberts at the Australian Migrant Housing Immigration Summit. Which is a great speech.
We've got 4 million non-citizens in this country. That's 15% of the population. 4 million non-citizens. We have 2.9 million temporary residents on resident visas. 75,000 now revised to 100,000 illegals. We want to deport them immediately. Remigration is the second part of my speech. Take the people who are not fitting in or that we don't need and send them home. Send them home.
Not bad. Fiery. It's an event we like to film, Australian Fire, and check them out. We have arrived back in Hyde Park for our next get up. I didn't manage to get the timers, but thankfully the organisers this time haven't started these speeches yet. P. Hansen proved me wrong. I know it's One Nation, but it doesn't say One Nation.
Wow.
No party brownie, very good. Very good. Oh, hold on, just 1 second. I gotta get a view from the. Hello.
Hi, how are you, mate?
See you again. See you. Yeah. Come have a chat.
Yeah.
No Nazis this week.
Underwhelming.
No black shirts.
Reduces your ability to film.
It does.
Interesting stuff.
Hype. I'm an ambulance chaser, right?
That's it.
No, I was given a bit of flack for chasing the Nazis last time, but that's the story. That's what I gotta go do.
That's the job, mate.
That's the job is to go and film. If the Nazis then go around calling me a fag as they did, I'm not ashamed to say that. There we go. Yeah, they called me a faggot. That's me. What ground me was they gave like a 7-minute interview to Channel 10 and then asked Public Order and Riot to get rid of me, the agitator. And Bateman went hands-on with me and removed me onto City Road.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Hail Australia. Hey, how's your day been?
Good. Lovely. Nice little walk around the block. It's easy.
No dramas, no incidents, no pepper spray. I'll leave you to it, guys. See you, Richard.
You can stick your immigration up your ass. You can stick your immigration up your ass.
A lot of libertarians here.
Stick your immigration. Stick your immigration up your ass.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Come and enjoy it. If you're wondering how much I normally get out of these, if it's not copyrighted, it's like 100 or 2. But what are you up to? What are you up to, man?
Same shit, different story.
What's brought you out here today?
Same as always, man. Ending this great Australian Ponzi scheme. That's about it.
Ponzi scheme. Yeah. Oh, stacking more people on top of people on top of people.
Yep.
Yep.
We don't build anything anymore other than houses, man.
What? We don't need to, because you can build them on the backs of other people's kids.
Mortgaging a future for somebody that's got to pay down the line.
GDP go burr.
Yeah.
Are you saying GDP bad?
GDP bad if quality of living also bad.
But you are the economy. You are the economy. And if the economy's bad, the economy for individuals...
GDP can go up, but if quality of life go down, GDP bad.
Ah, there you go. Excellent We already are in a recession. Isn't that funny? We're in a recession. Oh, excuse me, got a shadow SBS.
What's wrong with mass immigration? Really devastating our country. In what ways? Crime rate increased. It's hard to get property. A lot of things.
Yeah, don't you think there's probably a lot of elements that go into that, not just immigration?
Yes, but this is one that we're talking about today, immigration. That's it, nothing else.
Okay. What do you think about the march just across the park?
I don't.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day.
It's scary.
Make it easier. Unmute myself. Make it easier. A look back at Brisbane. Nevin there at the moment. Haven't got any audio coming from him, unfortunately. I think that's because you've got your headphones plugged in, isn't it? And you can hear me. Oh, no. But I can't hear you, unfortunately, for whatever reason. That's that looking like a great crowd. Awesome crowd out of Brisbane. Good to see so many flags. It's just such a marvellous thing, isn't it, when you see the Australian flag like that? So many of them, even if it's the blue rag, you know, it engenders a marvellous feeling. Now our picture's gone a bit sideways. That's a bit weird. I don't know that I can look at that for too much longer. We'll slip back to Melbourne has dropped out at the moment. There was some talk that in Melbourne there was a bit of bluing going on, but I haven't seen any pictures of that at all. Certainly looks like folks in Sydney have come out en masse and are behaving very, very well. I don't know Sydney that well. They look like Victorian police uniforms to me. Maybe I've got a different feed up from a different place that I didn't know I had, which is highly possible because I've got screens open from bloody everywhere here at the moment, and Vince is helping me as well. So we have multiple things pushing up. This looks like it's also Brisbane. You think I'm looking at that. That's the Riverside Expressway. I'm thinking that looks familiar. Have they got something like that in Sydney? So this is the Brisbane March at the moment. Oh, hang on. Let me get some audio out of there for us and see what we can find out. I'll keep Joel for Joel. Otherwise, I get in all sorts of trouble for pinching his bits and pieces, and I don't want to do that. We will go back to the Brisbane show, though. Don't know why it's gone small.
Going the way fucking everyone's been heading. As far as I'm concerned, my family's concerned, and everybody else out here is concerned, as I see, is a trade and needs to go.
But Albanese's got struggling at the supermarket to buy food for his kids and that.
No, well, any Prime Minister wouldn't either.
No, this one especially. I just went into the supermarket yesterday and things have already doubled up 40 and 50%.
On top of that, I'm frigging couch surfing. I'm frigging living in my car, in and out of my car. I haven't got a permanent frigging residence at the moment. And all of that's because I can't afford a place. I cannot afford the rent. I can't let alone...
That's not a new problem though.
I know, this is the old problem.
As well.
But it's back down to frigging... We need to stop the... back down to immigration. We need to stop the boats. Look, I'm not racist. I am frigging... I pride myself in getting along with as many cultures as I can. But saying that, if you're coming here just to fuck the country up, we don't want you. But if you're coming here to friggin' do the right thing, look for give yourself a better way of life than that, we don't call this place the land of milk and honey for no reason. But
Cheers. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. I tried. My first one was alright.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. That's why I'm following them.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see what they cut out.
Yeah. How do you want to talk to him?
Chris Gubberies, I'll see you later. Your interview is on Chris. I get around. Chris Gubberies.
It's an absolute honour and a privilege to stand here with my fellow Australians and MC at an event like this.
Can I have your sign?
I know we had a weak sound system last time, so we went all up for this one. Which I would love to thank our sound guys, Atomic Audio, for generously supporting March for Australia. Welcome to Hyde Park, which has been occupied every Sunday for the last 2 years. Can everyone hear me all right? Protesters. At the back, we're good. It feels good to return. The last 2 years by foreign protesters. It feels good to return this historically rich and beautiful park to the patriotic people of this nation. I'm going to give my speech and then we'll go straight to our great list of speakers that we have organised for today, so I'll try and get through mine as quick as possible. Australia was and still could be the greatest country in the world. The way the traders in our government and the elites have sold our people out and flooded us with an infinite, unrelenting flow of immigration for the purpose of their financial and economic gain is a betrayal of our people, the likes of which we have never seen before in our history. Politicians keep talking about social cohesion, yet true social cohesion comes naturally when there is a common heritage and a clear established national identity. You can't cram suburbs full of enclaves of hostile foreigners with ideologies and religions that are fundamentally against the founding culture of this nation and expect social cohesion. It doesn't work that way. What makes a nation great is the people in it. Australia has always been globally known and renowned for its people and our culture. Culture flows downstream from race and heritage. When you add countless hordes of ethnic foreigners, it completely strips that nation of its culture, heritage and identity. It has never been more important than it is right now to reclaim and fight for Australia's identity.
Our Anglo-European ancestors settled this nation, built this nation, and passed this great nation on to us, their descendants. They did it for us so we could live in the greatest country on earth. They didn't do it so that we could be disenfranchised in our own suburbs and pushed out of electorates with hordes of imported voter blocks. They didn't do it so we could be minorities in our school classrooms or have to compete in the workforce and housing market against infinity immigrants. They didn't do it so our shopping centres would be filled with foreign machete gangs. And they didn't do it so our neighbourhoods could be terrorised
There's a
by
right
violent
police over
foreign
there.
thugs committing carjackings,
See 'em.
rapes and enterings, and far worse than that.
Right there.
You become the third world.
I don't know. We don't want anything to do with those guys because they got some seriously big artillery, and you don't want to fuck around.
They try to tell us that
Not that anyone
diversity
is,
is
like, you
our
just-
strength.
you've got
but we have
whoever's been, you know,
only
you've
seen
been
all
on
the
here since the
problems that
beginning.
come
You see
with
how
mass
peaceful this is.
immigration. We have seen a housing crisis, mass homelessness, increased violent crime, economic stress for Australians, foreign unrest in the streets, religious enclaves destroying the aesthetics of our suburbs. We have completely unrecognisable streets. The government's response to this seems to be increased censorship and hate speech laws for anyone who dares to speak out against it. It begs the question, what exactly are the benefits of diversity? Is it worth it to completely change the fabric of this entire nation permanently just for some exotic foreign food? Is it worth it just for an artificial boost in GDP numbers? It is proven now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this experiment has run its course and the results are in. Mass immigration has failed. We are bringing in hundreds of thousands of unvetted, often hostile and unwilling to participate in traditional Australian society per year with no end in sight. We are seeing our culture eroded and we are seeing crime rates rise at levels we have never seen before. Mass immigration has failed and we need to have a serious conversation about deportation of criminal immigrants and remigration of hostile, un-Australian or foreign subversive immigrants. Send them back and shut the gate. It's time to protect our own. It's time to make our streets safe, and it's time to protect our women and children. Make no mistake, this is part of a larger agenda to completely destroy our people and our homelands. It is happening in every white nation. When you look at the statistics of birth rates, the global percentages of population of white people, the United Nations Replacement Migration Report, and the constant anti-white rhetoric we see from mainstream society and mainstream media, it is clear that we are under attack as a people, and it's time to start being proud of who we are and standing up against this heinous agenda and the betrayal of our people before it's too late. It is time to fight back. Many other nations and cultures around the world take pride in their heritage, and that's not seen as taboo in any way. But for some reason, being proud of white European Australian heritage is not allowed. Or they say there is no such thing as white heritage. Yes, people have been saying that. Many Australians have been completely brainwashed by this hateful and self-deprecating ideology, and we need to overcome this by overpowering these weak traitors with our powerful displays of Aussie pride. We must be proud of who we are as Australians and be proud of what our ancestors built. We must tell this traitorous government that Australians have had enough of being treated like second-class citizens. This is our country. We must fight this noble cause. It is our duty as a people to stand up and fight for this great nation and return it to its former glory. The purpose of March for Australia is not only to normalise the conversation about mass immigration, but also to normalise being proud of our Australian heritage once again. It's about flying our flags and advocating for our people again. For too long we have been browbeaten, labelled toxic racists. From a young age we are brainwashed into thinking our history is evil, and it's time we put this agenda to an end once and for all. We owe it to our children, our grandchildren, and all the future generations of this country so we can give them what our ancestors gave to us, the greatest country in the world. Thank you again for everyone involved in the March for Australia organisation team, and thank you everyone for coming. I know this whole movement has been shrouded in controversy, and the mainstream media has been unrelentingly attacking us and hitting us with their ridiculous narratives. We have tried to keep it real, remain unapologetic, and stand strong against these bastards. It is an absolute credit to everyone here for turning up to March for Australia. Thank you everyone so much. So good. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! All right, let's go to our speakers. Thanks, mate. First speaker we have is Miss Beck Freedom, National Organiser and Sydney Co-Organiser for March for Australia.
Oh, here comes Beck.
Hey guys, I do have a speech this time. Last time I didn't, but this time I do. But before I start that speech, I want to give a special thank you to the awesome Australian kids that marched proudly holding our banner today. You guys are our future, and we are doing this for you! I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I also want to thank all my amazing organisers, team members and promoters right across Australia. You've all worked your little butts off and you're all amazing. Obviously the Smear of Fear campaign didn't stop or scare you guys away. How very patriotic of you! After August 31st, a lot of people walked away feeling like the day was amazing. They were full of adrenaline, full of pride, and couldn't wait to go again. The media knew this though. The government knew this. So they had to try and diminish those feelings and squash that pride. They only showed violence in the news, called all the males toxic. They focused purely on the NSN, called us all racist, and minimised the numbers that showed up. They ignored the thousands of flags being flown proudly, or the unity of us all coming together. They didn't show us all singing the national anthem, or the proud little Aussie kids waving their flags.
Will face justice.
I think this was a bit of a wake-up call for some of you first-timers that attended. You realised the media
Anthony Albanese,
lies.
you may see us as the third estate.
They twist and they manipulate it into a narrative that suits their
be at the bottom in
agenda.
your eyes, but we are coming
To those of you that went to the first and came here again today despite the media campaign,
whole system
you're all
will
patriotic
be rebuilt.
legends. Congratulations!
So I can just ask you to please be very careful when you go home. I think the
But
opposition...
remember this, we
want the
do
life, and I
not
want you
hate
to
the media
detail to
enough.
know where the violence comes from.
There are a few good ones here today, and to those ones we do appreciate you. We're not going to shitbag you all. Some of you are good, and those ones we appreciate. So keep it honest, guys. The left asks, what did you even achieve? As much as I'd love for our marches to end mass immigration, realistically it will not happen unless we see millions on the streets. My main goal with March for Australia was to reignite that good old Australian pride that we've been shamed out of feeling these past few decades. My goal was to get people speaking about the problems we are seeing in Australia in terms of mass immigration, the negative side effects and the impacts on Australians. I wanted to hear people discussing how important it is for us to fight to keep our national identity, to protect our way of life, and to be proud of our Anglo-Saxon and European heritage and culture. I wanted these discussions to become normal and socially acceptable because for so long we've been told it's racist to speak on any of this. Far out, I got called racist because I used the word white to explain what Australian heritage is. People seem to forget that the first settlers were white. Captain Cook and Sir Joseph Banks were both white. Therefore, our Australian heritage could be referred to as white without being shamed for using the correct description of the colour of their skin. We should not be ashamed of our Australian history. Our marches have made these topics more common. Damn straight! I wanted the government to hear our concerns, and they did. Parliament and politicians have been buzzing with discussions about mass immigration, immigration in general, and even remigration. It hasn't all been positive though. Just this past week, a motion was moved in New South Wales Parliament to condemn myself and March for Australia. Which John Ruddick spoke on in defence of both me, our organisers and all of you who marched on August 31st. So thank you, John Ruddick, for your support. You're an absolute legend. Labor's Cameron Murphy pulled out all the stops. He lied, he misquoted me and took me out of context. He basically called you all Nazis by association, said the march was fascism dressed up as patriotism, picked on you all for draping our Australian flags proudly over your shoulders. But why are we surprised? The Labor Party doesn't exactly scream patriotism. Although they've got no problem constantly siding with the extreme far left whilst labelling the everyday concerned Australian a far-right extremist. Remember this when it's time to cast your vote next. Of course, the Labor government is so quick to condemn us. They are the ones bringing in the large number of immigrant refugees and visa holders into Australia. They are the ones ignoring the concerns of the Australian people. They are ignoring the homeless families living on the streets, ignoring the Australians losing their well-paying jobs just to be replaced with cheaper immigrant workers. But worst of all, they are ignoring the concerns of safety due to high levels of immigrant crimes taking over our streets. Gang violence, machete crimes, rape, home invasions. The list is endless. The people committing these crimes came here for a better life, but instead they've chosen to treat Australia the same as their former home. What was that quote Jesse said earlier? Oh, that's right. Import the third world, become the third world. These criminals should be instantly deported with the first offence committed. We have the laws in place to be able to do so. If they receive a sentence of 12 months, they are meant to be deported. The problem is our courts would rather give them light sentences, give them bail, allow them back on the streets to recommit. We saw this happen recently in Melbourne with the Northland Shopping Centre machete fight that took place while several of them were out on bail. One was given bail again, then he was part of the group that ended up cutting 2 children's hands off, which resulted in their death. Had he been deported after his first crime, those children would still be alive today. Australia needs to deport immigrant criminals without hesitation after the first time is committed. We need to send them back. 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 Send them back.
The Safety Commissioner can go to China.
I want my children to grow up in a world that they feel safe. I want my daughter to be able to walk around a shopping centre without feeling scared. I want my son to grow up in a world that he doesn't feel shamed or called toxic for showing pride in his country. I want my baby boy to grow up and not feel like a stranger in Australia. I want him to grow up to be patriotic and learn about the sometimes dark but also beautiful history of this country, that his ancestors put their blood, sweat and tears to make it what it is today. I want our government to listen to the Australian people and actually hear the words we speak. I want them to end mass immigration, protect our heritage, our culture and our way of life. Thank you to everyone for coming. I love you all. Never back down. Never stop fighting for this beautiful country that we call home. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Love you all!
Thanks, Beck. That's the national organiser for March for Australia. She's put lots of time and effort and blood, sweat and tears into this. So give her another round of applause, guys. Next speaker we have is the Honourable John Ruddock, MLC, representing the Libertarian Party. Welcome to the stage, John.
Well, look, it's really terrific to see that we're making the Australian flag great again. It's fantastic. And I would really like to thank Beck Freedom and Jessie for organising it. These things don't come from nowhere. I think she got to sleep at 5 o'clock this morning. They have thrown everything at her, including the kitchen sink this week, but she's shown that she's as tough as nails and she doesn't care. So most people, Beck, most people would have backed down by now, but you're standing tall and we're standing with you. Now, I'm here because I believe that the three most important issues facing Australia, facing any country, are this, in this order: immigration, immigration, and immigration. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what immigration's like. Imagine if you're having a party, you're having a house party. Your friends come around, your family comes around, everyone's having a good time. People hear about it, more people come around, everyone's having a good time. Such a good time that people that you do not know and that may not fit into the party that well start crashing it. They wreck the party. What was once a great party is now an unhappy party. Now, the thing about why I say immigration is the most important issue is because, look, if taxes are too high, well, that's not good, but we can reduce them. Regulations are too high, we can reduce them. If we've got involved in a stupid war, we can get out of the war. Now, with immigration, it's very, very hard to reverse a bad immigration policy. Look what's happening in Western Europe and Scandinavia right now, and England. And you know, these trends, Australia's usually 5 to 10 years behind. We have to strive to prevent that happening in this country. Now, you know, the funny thing is, I read in the media somewhere this week that this was actually a Nazi rally. That's what I read. Now, I was sceptical of that, and I've talked to a lot of people today. You seem like the happiest, nicest people I've met in many, many years. So, but I would like to do a test. If you are here and you're not a Nazi, can you please put up your hand? Now, you better put up your left hand, not your right hand. Now, that's pretty much everybody. That's pretty much everybody here is not a Nazi. So they are, what that means is, we were lied to in the media. But we were lied to. They want to badmouth this movement because they can see that it's catching on. Now, the last thing I'll say is, you know, these politicians, the thing that runs their life more than anything else is the polls. That's all they care about, is the polls. They'll say anything if the polls say it. Well, the good news is the polls are on our side. The Lowy Institute, big left-wing globalist think tank, they put out a poll a few months ago. They said, ask people what they think about immigration. 53%, according to the Lowy Institute, said, yeah, we've got too much immigration. That's pretty good. The Guardian is probably the most left-wing media outlet in this country. They put a poll out recently. Same result, 53% of Australians say, yeah, too much immigration. And then just recently, like a week after the last rally, the Sydney Morning Herald, you know, another right-wing outlet, they said, yeah, boo the Sydney Morning Herald, but they did publish this poll. They said 49% of Australians say we've got too much immigration. 27%, big gap, 27% said, oh, it's about right. 5% said we don't have enough. Okay, that's the crazies who want to wreck the joint. Now, but very interestingly, 19% told the pollster, oh, I don't know, Mr. Pollster. I just don't know what I think about immigration. No, they're lying. They're shy. They're cowards, right? Now, in many cases, it's understandable. You work for one of these big corporations, they'll sack you like that. But the thing is, of that 19%, I believe clearly more than half of them would have privately said, yes, no, I think there's too much immigration. So my point is, we are representing the majority of Australians. And so thank you for being here. Now, I know this is, the March for Australia doesn't have a set policy. Okay, so this is my personal policy. I believe what we should do with immigration is a 5-year pause where we basically let no one in. But ladies say 10. Have I got 15 over here? 15. Okay, no. Let's start with 5. But it's not back to business as normal after the pause. We want a massive reset. We want to have a debate in meetings like this and social media, in Parliament, in our opinion pages. Have a sober debate about what's best for the next 50 years. And then at the end of that 5 years, and that 5 years of a civilised debate, we have a national vote. Nothing affects the people more than immigration. We put up 4 or 5 different plans and we see what the people think. And you know what I reckon they'll vote for? I reckon they'll vote for what you guys stand for. Thanks so much for being here. Maintain the rage.
Thank you, John Ruddick. Good speech, mate. Send them back! 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 All right, next speaker, we have social media personality, Mad Unit AU. Welcome to the stage, mate.
Hello, everyone. Hello. All right, so they keep saying there's a construction skills shortage, so they keep bringing in people who only do jobs that involve sitting down. They'll hand out university degrees like confetti so that they can join thousands of resumes in a pile and then do Uber to survive. We need less Uber drivers, more tradies. I'm a product of immigration. My grandparents left for a reason. They settled in the beautiful Sutherland Shire. They assimilated, they became patriotic. I became patriotic. Now people come for a better life and then hate us for it. Overheating. People are welcome here, but the key word is mass. Look at Sydney. Nearly 20 years ago, I was a bouncer at some of Sydney's most legendary venues, and I personally seen how vibrant it was. But now what was such a fun and vibrant place, as you can see, is just acai and tobacconists at every corner. Am I right? We used to be proud. We used to be a proud people. We used to be tough. We traded courage for compliance. We traded freedom for comfort. Every decision they make hurts the people who actually keep this country alive. The politicians don't live under the rules they create. We do. It's the same story that destroyed Britain, a once great empire rotting from within. They abandoned their values, their traditions, their identity, and now we're walking down the same path. 100%. The real agenda at play, the biggest story, is wages low, prices high. And they're replacing us with obedient slaves who won't notice their corruption. This is a controlled demolition of Western society on purpose. They want to destroy our way of life so they can steal more money and gain more power. But people will argue over a football team, but when it comes to standing up for their country, their freedom, their rights, silence. But you people here are the exception. If we don't snap out of this, everything that we love, the Australia that we once loved, will be gone. And I never thought I'd see the day that standing up for our own country would make us the bad guys. I really didn't know. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to the police. I want to say a massive thank you to Beck Freedom and the organisers. But don't forget, stand up, speak up.
Cheers, Mad Unit. That's good, mate. All right, next speaker, we have social media personality renowned for defeating the E-Safety Commissioner in court. Welcome Celine Against the Machine to the stage.
Hello, Sydney. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you, Beck, and thank you, Jesse, for letting me speak. My online name is Celine Against the Machine. I'm a mother and a very proud Australian. I wanted to speak today as the topic of mass immigration is something I care deeply about for a number of reasons. I love this country. I love this country, but if I'm honest, I don't really love the people that are in charge. I've lived in Western Sydney my whole life, so I've seen firsthand what forced multiculturalism does to a community. It doesn't foster cohesion, it promotes division. The streets and shopping centres that I grew up in, I don't recognise anymore, and I am starting to feel like a stranger in my own country. Now, in case you couldn't tell, I'm a woman, a real one, an adult human female. I have an 8-month-old daughter, and she means everything to me. While I'm sure I'll agree with what else is said today, because I am a woman, I'm going to talk about this through the specific lens of protecting women's safety. Women and girls always pay a price when it comes to mass immigration. When we import a large amount of people from countries whose ethics and values do not align with our own, Western women are isolated, degraded, and attacked. Look at the UK, Europe, the United States, all of the horrific attacks that we've seen on women and girls. They will happen here. Hell, they already have. Now, the progressive, liberal nut jobs, the Abby Chatfields of the world, they couldn't give a shit about our daughters. All these so-called feminists who argue that men can be women will willingly turn a blind eye to the very real dangers that women and girls face because of their intersectional ideologies. Not only will they not talk about it, but they'll call you racist for even thinking about it. While they sit in their million-dollar homes with their luxury beliefs, completely separated from what most Australians are seeing every day with their own eyes. Now, even though we have different ideologies, those women still deserve to be safe. When we import people from countries who have a backwards, barbaric view of women, Western women and girls are in danger. Now, when I say backwards and barbaric views of women, you know exactly what I mean. I don't want to speak for everyone here, but in my opinion, if your culture includes covering your women head to toe so your men don't assault them, I don't want it here. If your culture includes sex-selective abortions, killing children just because they're girls, I don't want it here. If your culture views Western women as dirty, as pieces of meat, I don't want it here. If your culture believes in honour killings when family members step out of line, I don't want it here. If your culture believes in sorting out your differences by stabbing each other with machetes, I don't want it here. We have a government that consistently boasts about how many women there are in Parliament, claiming to care about women's rights, women's voices, all this virtue signalling bullshit. They can't even define what a woman is. If you truly cared about protecting Australian women, you'd stop importing people from cultures that don't respect us. Now, if we can't get those dickheads in Canberra to listen to us and to put a stop to the influx of people that we're importing, then women and girls will be sacrificed at the altar of multiculturalism. Our children deserve to feel safe in their country. Our children deserve to be proud of their country. Our children deserve Australia. I'll end with this. Some cultures are better than others. There's a reason people want to move here. There's a reason that Western countries are being flooded with immigrants, and there's a reason that they don't want to go back home. That reason is our culture, our Anglo culture, our quality of life, our way of life, our beautiful country. Our country is worth fighting for. And as long as we continue to have the pride and the passion that I'm seeing here today, then at least they'll know that we won't go down without a fight. Thank you all. God bless.
Thanks, Celine. That was a great speech. Great speech, Celine. For our next speaker, we got Mr. Craig Kelly. Welcome to the stage, Craig.
We're here today for a few reasons. Firstly, because we are proud of our great Australian flag. We are proud of our nation, Australia. And we are proud of our country's history. But I'll tell you what, we are damn shamed about the government that we have in Canberra. Now let's just do the mathematics, the simple mathematics. The first term of the Albanese government, he's imported a net number of 1.4 million new people into this country. 1.4 million. If we go back before the Sydney Olympics, that is 15 years worth of migration crammed into just 3 years. And what are the adverse consequences? We see families living in their cars. We see Australians living under bridges. We see the price of rents through the roof, where the rent today, the average cost of your rent as a percentage of your wage, has never been higher in our nation's history. And the great Australian dream of home ownership, the chance that a young Australian can own part of the land that he was born in, has been extinguished by the Albanese government. So we are saying, as John Ruddick said, we want a massive cut in the number of migrants coming to this country, because you cannot bring 1.4 million people in 3 years. It's not just the housing, it's also the dams, it's the hospitals, it's the public transport network, it is the entire infrastructure. The Albanese government has this nation going backwards, and we're going to get out there and fight against it and keep speaking against this every single day up until the next election, because we cannot have another 3 years of Anthony Albanese as the Prime Minister of this country. Thank you.
Albo's a wanker. Albo's a wanker. Albo's a traitor. Albo's a traitor. All right, thanks for that, Craig. Our next speaker is Steve Christou, the former Mayor and Libertarian Councillor for Cumberland. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, Aussie Patriots. Give it up, Sydney. Before we start, I'd like to say a big thank you to Beck and her partner, Jess. Give them a round of applause. Nothing happens without their hard work. Now, just like everybody here today, I'm here because I love my country and I love my flag. But unfortunately, our country is being flushed down the toilet by Anthony Albanese, Penny Wong and the Australian Labor Party and the Greens. That's right, determined to flush our country's morals and our beliefs right down the dunny. But we're not going to let that happen. No. We are in a cost of living crisis where people are struggling to pay the mortgage, the rent, the bills, and put food on the table to feed their children. And what's our federal government's response? Let's let in 1.5 million Australians in the last 3 years, creating a housing crisis, creating a rental crisis. People cannot get into the housing market. People are sleeping in parks and in tents and in cars. And in a lot of cases, they're holding full-time jobs, all because of excess migration. We have a treacherous government sneaking in ISIS brides under the cover of darkness. Boo! Absolutely treacherous. Rather than letting them rot overseas in the camps and telling them you abandoned Australia and giving them the middle finger, because that's what they gave Australia when they walked out of here. Send them back! 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 Rather than leaving these treacherous ISIS brides, they want to welcome them back with open arms, let them take our generous welfare system, give them priority housing. Boo, that's right. And it's happening, and they're jumping the queue from ordinary Australians that need assistance with housing and might need the welfare assistance, and we're saying no, we're not going to give it to our own people, we're going to give it to treacherous ISIS brides. That's right, maintain the rage, because we all need to be angry. They're letting in immigrants that won't assimilate to our culture, and again, they're committing acts of violence and taking up a welfare system. It is treason. It is. But I'll tell you this, there needs to be a mass immigration pause in this country. On a minimum of 5 years, on a minimum. Because our schools and our hospitals and our infrastructure cannot cope. Okay? That's right, people can't cope. No, we can't live. So, it warms my heart to see you all out here today, waving the Australian flag, loudly and proudly. So get all the flags up, give it a big cheer, and we will continue this fight against the Albanese Labor government and against the commos that hate our country. Okay, and before we go, let's sing it loud and proud. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Well done, Sydney. Well done, Australia.
Fuck the ISIS bride! Send them back!
Thanks, Steve. All right, next up we got the viral Vegemite guy from TikTok, Alan Ross. Welcome to the stage, bro.
Oh, this one, mate. He's the Vegemite guy.
To my fellow Australians, I am Alan Ross, also known as the Vegemite guy, who went viral on social media platforms, including TikTok, for smearing Vegemite on my face to help promote these events and rally our Australian troops. Who out there seen my videos? Yeah, nice work, thank you. I am here today as a tax-paying, law-abiding, proud Australian citizen to march for Australia in defiance of mass immigration plaguing our country. I am speaking up when others stay silent. I am doing what our politicians won't, and I know I am not alone. This crowd speaks volumes. I have been called every name under the sun, including racist, which has been used so much it's now lost its meaning. I am all for reality, and I will not be silenced. My great-grandfather spilled blood and determination in World War I to protect this flag and our way of life, and I will not allow his memory and his ultimate sacrifice to be lost in vain. I will fly my flag high and march for Australia for as long as it takes to make positive change for ourselves and our future generations to follow.
Our children depend on us for a safe future. This is our country. This is our home. And enough is enough. We will continue to unite in a sea of blue until our message is heard loud and clear that mass immigration must be halted. Our country is being run like a bad business, wasteful, unaccountable, and blind to everyday Australians. We must continue to unite as strength in numbers will demand leadership that puts Australians first. Accountability over excuses, results over rhetoric. This is a true grassroots movement powered by belief. Belief in our country. Belief that Australians deserve better. In the famous words of our great John Farnham, we have the chance to turn the pages over. We are not going to sit in silence. We are not going to live in fear. You're the voice. You and you and you and you and you. So let's make a noise and make it clear. This agenda is hurting everyday Australians with services stretched and families under pressure. August 31st was a celebration of who we are as a people and how we can unite under one banner, one unbreakable force, sending a message so loud it couldn't be ignored. After the August 31st protest, there has been a shift in the Australian collective energy. Even our current political landscape is changing after people leaned into their courage to make a stand. Parliamentarians such as Pauline Hanson has warned immigration numbers are out of control for 30 years. An elected official who has always had the guts to say what you're thinking. She has put this debate front and centre in Canberra. So remember that the next time you're at the polling booth and vote One Nation for our best chance of getting our country back on track. Mass immigration is the movement of a large number of people from one geographical area to another, usually influenced by government policies. Between 1945 and 2024, Australia welcomed 7.5 million migrants on an average of 93,750 per year. It has been projected by the end of the Albanese regime, an additional 2.5 million migrants will have been added to the Australian population. That is a sudden and significant influx from different countries, not reflective of being sustainable to our economic and social infrastructure, such as houses, roads, hospitals, and schools. This current attitude is diluting everything we hold sacred. Arthur Caldwell, leader of the Australian Labor Party in 1967, had said, if Australians are ever foolish enough to open their gates to people other than Europeans, they will soon find themselves fighting desperately to stop the nation from being flooded by hordes of non-integratables. Now that was spoken by a representative of the same party in power today. And they have a much more opposing and damaging attitude. This is the same party who used to be spelt Labour as L-A-B-O-U-R, but have dropped the U because they don't care about you. They just care about themselves and greasing up with socialist ideologies, corruption and mass immigration to help buy votes at the next election. How's that for a fair and just democracy. Crime is out of control by demographics of repeat offenders of foreign descent, from the social and organised syndicates to the apex gangs in Melbourne. Retail workers are being held at knife point at their place of work. Families are being terrorised in their own homes. Bail laws provoke reoffending and a disregard for the rules. Do I need to even mention the Northland Shopping Centre incident? I think it's already been mentioned here again today. Exactly. ISIS brides are being smuggled in under the cover of darkness, and politicians are not giving clear answers in Parliament when they're questioned. This goes to show the government does not care, nor does it fully understand how to keep Australians safe. If you import the third world, you'll get third world problems and conflicts in return. Our Australian identity is changing and will be lost forever if this continues.
It's our blood.
Not assimilating with our country's morals and values, our language and our history is not multiculturalism. It is replacement of one culture with another. Yes. Have a look at what's occurring in Britain. It's too late for them now. It's too saturated with foreign immigrants who have pushed their own agendas and ideology. There is no cure for this. We cannot stand by and say sorry for mistakes made after the fact. It will be too late for Australia as well if we continue to allow this mass immigration to occur. Prevention is better than cure. A recent poll by marketing research firm Dynata found that 71% of Australians agreed that immigration levels are too high. And this government should temporarily pause its intake of new immigrants. Mass immigration is making Australia poorer and more divided. By gathering here today and across this great nation, we are sending a strong message to our political leaders that drastic and urgent action is needed to restore confidence in our migration program. Too many young Australians are being deprived of an opportunity to own their own home. Exactly, thank you.
Useless government.
That's in part because this immigration pressures are having on the housing market. Australia needs a migration system managed maturely and in the interests of the country, not determined by internal political power struggles. Our government's drunk on power and has morphed into a tyrannical beast, trampling our freedoms, our voices, and our way of life. They need to be given a Vegemite sandwich and do the job they are paid for.
Gen Z's future, not yours. Gen Z's future, not yours.
100% agreed. Now, if the floodgates at Warragamba Dam were open completely, and stay with me here, I have a point, it would cause significant downstream flooding if the river couldn't handle the volume, and we've seen it happen. Well, a full-scale release of mass immigration is what is happening in our country right now. Floodgates are in place for a reason, a measure to protect the dam structure and downstream communities from overflow. We need those floodgates installed where mass immigration is sustainable and does not inundate our communities. where our hard-working, fair dinkum Aussies are not drowned out of the housing market. Australia has an illegal immigration problem from people overstaying visas. According to the Department of Immigration and Border Protection, the current total number of illegal migrants living in Australia is approximately 62,700 as of today, a figure that is increasing at a rate of 5% annually. However, only 2,000 illegal immigrants are deported every year. Australia has one of the highest amounts of foreign-born residents in the world. The total numbers, both in total numbers and both per capita. Recent immigration now accounts for over 30% of the population, the highest proportion among Western nations. Going forward, I propose a 5-year mass immigration pause to help social and economic recovery. An increase in Australian working visas to 5 years, and then you can earn the opportunity to apply for citizenship. Then we need to begin the process of sending the Gaza refugees who are currently on a temporary visa back to where they came from. And finally, ban the burqa. It is un-Australian to be parading around dressed like you're going to a Halloween party, pretending that you are a walking mailbox. We need to cap the intake of international students and family migration from countries such as China, the Philippines, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Sir Edmund Barton once said in 1907 that we have room for all but one flag, the Australian flag. Look around you, that's what you see here today. We have room but for all one language here, and that is the English language. And we have all but one sole loyalty, and that is the loyalty to the Australian people. In 1932, a bird on our national coat of arms went head-to-head with the military in protecting their habitat. The Great Emu War was won by an animal due to their surprising speed, resilience, and ability to scatter. Almost 100 years later, our March for Australia rallies across this country, designed to protect the habitat of every individual, will be won with just as much speed, resilience, and ability to mobilise across this great nation. By coming here today, you are helping defend our honour and protect our heritage, our culture, and our way of life for this great southern land. The power of the people has shown us throughout history, from the Eureka Stockade to the waterfront workers' strikes, that our strength lies in our solidarity. There is no shame in standing up for Australia and breaking the cycle of division. Send them back. Send them back. Send them back. Send them back. We share the same blood and same spirit. This isn't about left and right, it's about right and wrong. We have been censored, vilified and knocked down, but we've got up again to march in every city of every state in Australia, and we will take this country back one street at a time. Come on, Aussies, come on. Don't let the foundations that hold this country together, fairness, mateship and conservative values, be pushed aside. I urge you to go out into the community today and recruit your family and friends for our next gathering. Share a beer with a stranger. Wear your flag capes to eat yum cha. And support the Australian small businesses who help drive this country forward. The time for action is now. And may the government tremble at the roar of our March for Australia rallies across this nation. Anthony Albanese, can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better hide for cover. So in conclusion, we all come from a land down under, where patriotism is not racism, where prevention of mass immigration is better than cure, where the One Nation Party has this country's interest in its sights. So remember to vote accordingly. And where we must continue to be loud and proud of Australian culture on every street to help keep this movement flying high, just like those amazing flags today. Sons and daughters of Australia, I am Alan Ross, and I see a whole army of countrymen here in defiance of mass immigration. Countrymen who would be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for just one chance to come back here for another March for Australia and tell our government they may take our votes, but they will never take our freedom. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. That was good, mate. All right, last speaker we got before I make an announcement, and then we'll go to an open mic at the end. We got seventh generation Australian and social media personality. Welcome Viscount Dundee to the stage.
Thank you. You know, I didn't want to be here today. I have a wife and children that love me back home in the beautiful Hunter Valley. Yes. But the fact is, Canberra has not given me a choice. I haven't given any of us a choice. And the message I bring is not a message for everyone. As a matter of fact, it might be a little bit somber after those beautiful speeches before me. But I come bearing bad news, and I come bearing good news. The bad news is the Australian state is functionally a failed institution. It is currently suffering a legitimacy crisis. It is forever dependent on more and more of this substance that they cannot grab, this political dark matter, to explain why this promised land has not worked out the way they claimed it would. They have to lean to everything. It's the racists, it's the anti-vaxxers, it's the sovereign citizens, it's you. And the plain fact is, not even Antifa cared enough to turn up today. Either that or props to the cops, you guys are doing a great job. But we live in a country where no one under 40 can afford a home. And they've turned the lucky country into nothing more than a legal looting operation. This is a country where the old consumes the young, the ugly crushes the beautiful, the weak predates the lifeblood of the strong. We come today to this place. This is an enemy castle, and sure, it might be, but we're here today to remind them that we bloody well have them surrounded. They've worked hard to destroy the great Australian dream. They've built an empire of stolen goods that drained from our very lifeblood. They've snatched from our children's mouths for their own enrichment and for paying off their foreign interlopers. The systemic purpose of this regime is to disembowel you. They sent our forefathers to die in Gallipoli, our grandfathers to die in Vietnam. They sent our fathers, brothers, uncles to be blown apart by IEDs in the sands of the Middle East, while the cowards who stayed behind and ran the halls of power washed away our country in a sea of indescript brown. Yeah. We work like dogs to live like rats in the land that our forefathers struggled and died for. But the good news is this. We're approaching South Africanisation at a rate that's absolutely inconceivable. We have half the country, the beautiful people here before me today, that believe that pedophilia should be a capital crime. Yeah. And another part of the country that could not import fast enough a sea of people who don't think it a crime at all.
Send them to
Amen.
North Korea.
You cannot share a politic with these people. And look, it may well be the case that Canberra does not care that we're here today. I wish I could say that through the microphone. But in the end, we win when we no longer care about them. We didn't vote for this, and there's no voting our way out of this. We cannot stick to the failed strategies that have led us to this point. We aren't marching for Canberra. We're marching for us. We're marching for each and every true-blooded Australian out there. All these beautiful faces looking at me right now. We are still in this fight, and we will not go quietly. I want each and every one of you to understand that we currently face an existential crisis. We currently stand upon the precipice of whether to be as a people, as a country, or not to be. Because migration is a weapon. It is a weapon released upon us, upon our culture, our way of life, and upon our children. Absolutely. You know, our forefathers ran to the edge of the earth, to the edge of the known world. We're standing here with nowhere left to run. And there is a time to run. And there is a time to dig in. And you better bloody believe it, it's the time to dig in right now. And so my message today, my positive one, is to start with the things that we can control. We start with the small things. We start with the wins that are on the table. I want you to take each and every one of you who's made a friend today. Don't just go home back to the way things were. Stay in touch. Stick together. I want you to make communities with each other. You understand that we win when we live in a country that we can talk to our neighbours in. We win when we live in a country in which we can talk about the problems, about the foreigners, about the corruption. We win when we live together, when we raise our kids together, when we tell them our stories, when we sing them our songs. You need to organise on a smaller scale, and that's going to be hard because they spent the last 100 years tearing down this country, tearing down our people, tearing down our culture. It's going to be small bricks. It's going to be socks and shoes. Yeah. So get together, get in with your councils, block the developers, employ each other, support each other, be anti-fragile. If they come through with their digital ID, it should not matter because you live with the people you love. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, we need to make camping weekends about skills. We need to make beers in the shed after work turned into songs. We need to ooze patriotism and pride every chance we get. We must be psychologically prepared to fight a very long war. But it is a war we will win. You understand that if history has taught us anything, it's that if we do not believe in our right to rule, if we do not believe in ourselves, then others will come who are utterly unworthy to do so. The crown is in the gutter, and we have only to pick it up. We will win because something always beats nothing.
Yeah.
We will win because we are something.
Yeah.
We will win because we are Australians.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you now, any land that you aren't prepared to protect is terra nullius. And this land is bloody well ours! I want to end with a poem, and you're all going to love it. During the time of the prospecting days and the original Eureka Stockade, the miners, the Australians, were under the thumb of a tyrannical government. They were being swamped in their digs by foreigners, and they struggled to make a living. And these are the words of Henry Lawson. Australia is a big country, and freedom's humping bluey, and freedom's on the wallaby. Oh, don't you hear a cooey? She's just begun to boomerang. She'll knock the tyrant silly. She's going to light another fire and boil another billy. Our fathers toiled for bitter bread while loafers thrived beside them. But food to eat and clothes to wear, their native land denied them. And so they left that native land in spite of their devotion. And so they come, or if they stole, were sent across the ocean. Then freedom couldn't stand the glare of royalty's regalia. She left the loafers where they were and come out to Australia. But now across the mighty main, the chains have come to bind her. She little thought to see again the wrongs she left behind her. Our parents toiled to make a home, hard grubbing 'twasn't clearing. They wasn't crowded much with lords when we was pioneering. But now that we have made the land a garden full of promise, old greed must crook its dirty hand and come and take her from us. So we must fly a rebel flag as others did before us, and we must sing a rebel song and join in rebel chorus. Oh, those will make the tyrants feel the sting of those that they would throttle. They needn't say the fault is ours if blood should stain the wattle. Yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! God bless you all.
All right, thanks, Viscount. I'm just going to make a quick announcement about March for Australia's next event, and then we'll go to the open mic. So I think we've got 5 here. We're going to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll get through them quick, and then we've got to pack this thing up. All right, so what's next for March for Australia? The next official March for Australia event will be held on Australia Day, January 26th, 2026. We are aware that there are other rallies planned for the 29th of November 25. These rallies are not associated with March for Australia and do not share our core values at all. In fact, these rallies were made out of spite against the March for Australia after their main organisers trashed our movement, calling everyone racists and Nazis. They then used footage from the first March for Australia event as promotional material for their own event in an attempt to ride the wave of momentum of our movement. I'm not telling anyone whether to attend these rallies or not, but I'm making it clear where March for Australia stands. I know many people are wanting more regular March for Australia events. However, November, December time of year is usually dedicated to the Christmas season with friends, family, shopping for presents, and quite often ends up being the busiest time of the year. March for Australia has decided that the festive season is not an optimal time for marching. For our next event on Australia Day, we are planning on generating an enormous display of patriotism to celebrate our beloved national holiday. It will be a huge statement towards the un-Australian traitors who have been trying to steal our day from us for so long. We have an opportunity to make this one of the most significant Australia Day celebrations in many years, and we want January to be the most patriotic month of the year. Yeah. Many call it Australia Month. Yeah. For the meantime, we're running some campaigns for supporters to get involved, so feel free to keep following the social media pages to be involved. We have the Raise the Flag, which is hoisting the Australian flag on a piece of public property, light posts, electricity posts, etc. And then we have Australia's Voice, which you can send in clips, written posts, or written posts to March for Australia pages, and we'll publish them on the page. We believe all Australians deserve to have a voice, so tell us how mass immigration has failed you. What side effects are you feeling? Cost of living, housing crisis, crime increase. Explain why you are marching for Australia. All right, guys, that's it. We'll do the open mic. We'll get 5 people. Rules are we've got to stay on topic within the messaging. 2-minute speeches. Let's go, guys. Get through them.
Hi everyone, I'm Donna from the Corruption Whistleblower newspaper. So we are definitely here and love our nation. We have noticed that the Australian government is doing this immigration as quite the ploy. Of course people are going to want to come in and get thousands of dollars for free. Not good enough, government. They're clearly not representing the people. So really, they've been indicted by the people. We have done grand jury indictments at www.corruptionwhistleblower.com, and you can join in those grand jury indictments because the entire government's involved in this corruption, not just Albo. The whole lot of them needs to go. The whole lot of them needs to be held to account for their treasonous, terrorist crimes against the people. 60,000 children a year are taken with no court order. That's 240 a day. 240 a day children are snatched by so-called child protection. And where do they go? So you want to immigrate to this country? Well, good luck keeping your child, because we're the #1 for taking people's children for nothing. And bloody child trafficking them everywhere. 60,000. 240 a day. And you know how much they get for uplifting them? $40,000. Just like they're paying the immigrants to come in. Don't look at the immigrants, it's the government! It's the Australian government causing this. They are so evil. They have absolutely decimated this country on every level. So we've written about it in a brief of evidence. 80-page newspaper. You like it? Yeah. Corruption Whistleblower. Woo! And they all have won. They know their crimes. That's why they're doing the replacement migration. Yeah. They know their crimes, and they know when we know about this, that they have absolutely not asked the people what to do, not asked the people what we want. They are treasonous terrorist government, and they are a foreign government, actually, of political subdivision. Go and research that. Go and research some of this stuff that's going on. It's clear, all outlined. We've got 3 editions in the Corruption Whistleblower newspaper. They are not above the law, and we are coming for you for public trials. And same with you, cops. We love yous, but we totally need you to be on the people's side and stop enforcing the criminal government that is paying your wage. And you too, ABC, we're watching you as well. We're watching all the mainstream media and how crooked are you covering up your co-conspirating crimes. One would think you're in joint enterprise with the evil government, wouldn't one? Mainstream media. So watch yourselves, because we're coming for you. Everyone here knows, and we're coming for you, Australian government, to bring justice and righteousness back here by the power of right. What is right? We know what is right. We know what is right, and I thank you all for coming out today. Please keep up the good work. CorruptionWhistleblower.com. Come and see us. Get online, CorruptionWhistleblower.com, and please register for grand jury indictments on there. We need to indict this government and get rid of them.
And there goes the wonderful Donna. So it appears Carl's got a major error on his end, and I've had to sort of step up in here and just take that. We've got Neville, I think he said he's in Brisbane. So once I work out how to get Neville up to where I want him, which should be hopefully one of these. No, we all playing catch up here. No. Try that one. No, it puts us both down there. Maybe once I remove myself, I'll be able to put him on stage. Hopefully the sound is good, etc. and so on. If we aren't having any luck with Neville's mic, then that's unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do. I see some stuff is happening over in Perth, which was, I think, Perth, which was that other shot that we had there. But let's see what's going on currently in Brisbane. So.
The next one, what is marching again? The most powerful man, a little video, tens of thousands of Australians. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got politics of our own coming up in Queensland. We've got a Hinchinbrook by-election. Yes. We know that is a hotly contested seat. Would we like to see One Nation put the Liberals ahead of the Caddies? No! 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 Yes! How we do it? We want to make sure that One Nation puts the Liberals behind the Caddies for that seat. Let's say yes. Yes. Let's get with them. Yeah. Have a more shitty voice. You everybody and start chat. You know, he's got brother chicken. Sometimes I see him on TikTok, he's got a hammer, he's got a rubber chicken. But hey, we're going to bring back the larrikin spirit, you know what I mean? We're going to bring back mateship, larrikinism, Bob Catter. I think we're going to spread that out. Toxic. Yeah. We've got our next speaker, Lachlan Thunder Viking. He's made of meat, he only eats meat, here he is. Hey, my God. The big march. But look at what you've accomplished by turning up here today. By showing up, turning up. You've got these politicians for years. Has become immigration. Andrew Hastings stepped down because of immigration. And you know what? Julian under Anthony Albanese, you know what he's doing? He's writing the ceremonies to increase the vote. People. They're doing this because mass immigration is their final tool. It is a final tool and weaken our nation both culturally, spiritually, and economically. Now, every person in this country is Australians. We are lying. We are the here. This is the fight behind mass immigration. We are the Congress. We are those who got empires from nothing, and we once ruled the way. We are Australians. The masters of the sea, the lions of the southern. We are the Japan. We are the empire of the antipodes. And as the wealth of our land is deep, we lack only the grit and the will to see it brought to fruition. And it is so sad because what has become of our mighty inheritance? It has been cast aside. And all we have now is mass immigration. We are flooded with unchecked immigration. Our cities swell like where it's bursting at the seams, and we're told cut back immigration. Well, Australian bill. You know, tell the world's wanderers, this invasion disguised as compassion, the same as is tearing apart Europe and Britain. Of Australia, we Australians built. Our hospitals overflow, our schools crumble, our wages stagnate, and Brisbane is the most congested city in the world. All to accommodate those who have loyalty and proud soil. Intentionally destabilize digital ID, net zero, but massive. Then they call it multiculturalism.
All right, so we've got a bit of a challenge there with the audio on that. We've got a
Can you
speech going on
hear
the
that?
other one. I can hear it's chopping in and out, mate. Chopping in and out.
Do not belong.
So,
The great Australian worker of
I don't know whether you need to be closer or whether the mic's just overloading.
No more. We are the descendants of Anzac Turk Kings, of diggers.
So just give us half a second. I'm going to try and put something on the other see if this works. So this one here is in Brisbane, I believe. Hello? Everything stopped. Interesting. Let's do a refresh. All right, so I just got informed that I don't have sound on this, so just hang on a minute, guys. I'll see if I can fix that.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll be able to hear that now. Just let us know.
I don't know where she came from. I've never met her before. Well done, beautiful. Gerard Rennick, people first. Here he is.
The Miss Info crowd said he wasn't coming.
I'm here for the same reasons you are. We want to make sure our children get the same opportunities as our forefathers gave to us. The story of Australia is an incredible one. It was built on the sacrifice of our forefathers, and we owe it to our forefathers to make sure we pass those opportunities and that wealth on to our children. We also want to make sure we stand up for those Australians who try to stand up for themselves. We are sick and tired of the government controlling us. For the last 40 years, we've seen government sell all the infrastructure that was built by our parents, that was meant to serve us, that was meant to provide essential services. And they've marched on into the family home, the classroom, the bedroom, the corporate boardroom, God forbid, the doctor waiting room through COVID, and they're telling us how to live our lives. And it is not the role of the government to tell us how to live our lives, it's the role of the government to serve us. So we want to... So we want to tell the government of Australia, get back to doing the things that matter. Get back to serving us, stop telling us what to do, and to put us, the Australian people, first. Thank you.
Gerard Rennick, Queenslander. Thank you, a guy who has served us well. We've got our mate, Rob McMullen, the guy on the guitar. He can sing. He's married. Sorry, ladies, here he is.
We've got a lot of good speakers today, and they know a lot more about me than me about banking and all those sort of things. But I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I want to talk about stories. Because the thing is, on any given topic, there's an endless amount of facts you can say about it. But what really matters to people is the stories. That's how we understand ourselves and our histories, the story around the facts. That's what really matters. Stories can invigorate and lift us up. They can also demoralize and deconstruct. In fact, stories can be used as a form of warfare. Why attack people if you can just make them hate themselves and their country? Then they'll just give it to you. One of the great things about Australians is that we've never been too proud to look back at things and say, yeah, mate, that could have been done better. Could have been done better. But lately that has become weaponized against us. That has been used, this honesty and this great thing that we have that allows us to cooperate and build for the future and say sorry and move forward together has been weaponized against us as a culture of constant critique and undermining. Basically, I'm saying we shouldn't put up with it. Because here's the trap that they set for you. If you can be convinced that you owe nothing to your community can be convinced they owe nothing to you. If you can be convinced that you owe nothing to your nation, you can be convinced that your nation owes nothing to you. And if you can be convinced that you owe nothing to your heritage, you hate your heritage, you can be convinced that you owe nothing from your heritage. So they take everything from you. So basically, I'm saying what I want you to do is to have the courage to speak up and stop putting up with all these bullshit stories. This constant undermining, critique, criticism. You might not always have the words, but your gut knows. Your gut knows if something is a constructive criticism or it's undermining. Whenever people talk about the country, say, look, there's a million things we could have done better, but for everything we could have done better, there's 1,000 things we did right. And we should be proud of that. That's right. We should be grateful for that, and we should defend that. So that's what I'm asking of you today. Stand up for your country. Don't put up with these bullshit narratives that are designed to take it from under your feet. Thank you.
Robbie, that guy's a genius. We can't put up with it any longer, Australia. These hats, they say Australia first. That's what it is. This man, Malcolm Roberts, he's been Australia first for a very long time. We love this guy.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Now why did you respond? Because you love Australia and our identity. Our identity as Australians is tied up in our country. You know, when you go overseas, you stick out your hand and say, I'm Malcolm Roberts. Well, you don't, but I do. Malcolm Roberts, and I'm from Australia. Family name, family position, and national identity is critical. National identity is critical. Thank you so much to all the help and all the organisers, and thank you to everyone who's here. You have made the day. You're making the century. Look at all the proud Australians who love Australia. Look at all your bloody flags. It's wonderful. Coming to us talking about a wonderful Australian. For 30 years, Pauline Hanson has warned Australians the life we had growing up was slipping away. 30 years. For 5 years, my Senate office team and I have led the way in establishing mass migration and record homelessness as key threats to our country. Yes. The bigger threat, though, to our Australia is crony capitalism. The billionaires that run the world came to Australia under Prime Minister Menzies, who allowed 25% of Australian manufacturing to be sold to foreign owners, who then promptly moved that manufacturing overseas to low-wages countries. In the Australia we knew, though, there was always a parent at home and a sense of community, wasn't there? Yes. In the Australia we knew, immigration grew this country. From Australians after the war to Vietnamese, from Europeans after the war to Vietnamese after that war. People came here and rewarded our beautiful country with their loyalty, hard work and endeavour. Remember those days? Immigrants lifting themselves up, and in so doing, lifting up everyone in the country. Greek, Italian, British, South American, Vietnamese arrivals made their way into state and federal parliaments, seeking to protect the Australia for which their families came here, to protect you and your way of life. I hope the changing political landscape in the next year will bring together Australian patriots of all backgrounds and races to save our beautiful country from the greed of crony capitalists and the tyranny of globalist politicians in the mainstream parties, Liberal, Labor, Greens, Teals. And from David Littleproud in the Nationals, who's really a Teal. One nation stands against globalist crony capitalists and their foot soldiers in the Liberals, Labor, Greens and Teals. Traitors who have sold their souls for wealth and power and no longer care about the Australians they're supposed to represent. They no longer care about you. They no longer care about us. They ignore, yes, traitors. They ignore Australians sleeping under bridges, in tents and cars, working families unable to afford a home. They ignore the small business owners losing everything as insane net zero policies drive businesses into the red. While some stay afloat with subsidies to their corporate mates, subsidies for which you and I pay daily. Albanese and his party backers are as far into that trough as the Liberals were and the Teals want to be. They ignore the suffering their policies are causing because they're globalists. That's what globalists do. They take from you, from us, and give to themselves. And foreign-owned insurance companies, retailers, supermarkets and compliant regulators, racketeers fleecing hard-working Australian businesses. These captured politicians are quislings, betrayers, traitors, and have created the tools of tyranny to defend their wealth transfer. Now, let's just add an e-safety commissar to silence debate. Boo! A digital identity to keep your social credit score. To de-person opponents, as in China. A social media age restriction to ensure children only hear one point of view, the globalists. Replacing your identity, our identity as Australians, with a government-decreed globalist identity. Never have the young people been so lied to as they are now. Study hard, work hard, and we will steal your money, says both Labor and Liberal. Australian democracy is on life support. Thanks to you, though, marches like this have them terrified, and I mean that. They're very worried about what we're all doing. Because before their plan of betrayal is complete, we, the people, have woken up and realised the water around us is boiling. Congratulations for coming today, and thank God for your wisdom and awareness. Your participation in the political debate is more important now than at any time in our country's history. One Nation is leading with a commitment to repeal all of these pieces of legislation, all of them, and introduce constitutional changes to guarantee your freedom, including your freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and your right to defend yourself in your own home with castle law. And yes, with a weapon. Australian wealth must stay here in Australia, creating jobs for Australians. Let me be clear though. What One Nation will not do is confuse skin colour with patriotism and loyalty. Traitorous white politicians have voted in this parliament to make foreign capital wealthier and everyday Australians poorer and less free, more enslaved, sold you out while pretending to represent you. To what was the White Australia Brigade, I have this to say. The world's crony capitalists are all white and almost all male. Their tokenist separating campaigns like net zero, transgenderism, DEI, feminism, and their war on masculinity stop at the door of their palaces of power in London, Zurich, New York, and Geneva. The rules they make never apply to the people who make them. Instead of race and skin colour, we must see character and patriotism. One Nation was born of the same Australia you came out today to defend. 30 years ago, Pauline Hanson called her party One Nation for a reason. Pauline saw all of this coming. In my first speech in the Senate in 2016, I said Australia must exit the United Nations and must stop implementing Agenda 21. No unelected global government or global identity. One Nation will defend the Australian ideal and the Australian heritage and identity of one community made of many different backgrounds, skin colours and religions, working together to lift up all Australians. When I grew up, we didn't bother about where people came from. Yet now, our politicians are letting in people who hate Australia. Worse, we have politicians in Parliament who hate Australia. Our vision has nothing to do with skin colour, birthplace or religion within the limits of common sense. And I add, Islam is outside our limits. Burqas and Sharia have no place in this country. I'll say it again. I don't need to say it again. It's okay to bring your culture, providing it fits with ours. And don't try to eliminate our Aussie culture to make room for another. If you come here to leech off our welfare and take for yourselves the wealth our forebears have created over hundreds of years, then One Nation has a simple message about where you can go. Say it with me. Go back to where you came from. Remigrate home to your home. I want a fair go for those who created the wealth that crony capitalists are now stealing from us, using globalist politicians and immigrants from countries that hate us. One Nation will deport the 100,000 illegals currently in this country. Send home students milking their status. And adopt net negative immigration until infrastructure catches up and until we can sort through all those who have come here during Albanese's mass immigration invasion. Let actual new Australians amongst the immigrants stay. And if you didn't come here to contribute, to be an Australian, then One Nation will drive you to the bloody airport. Call it our airport Uber service. One way, of course. Like you, I came here today because we have had enough. We've had a gutful. Shut the gates! We want our Australia back. We all want to keep our identity and heritage as Australians. Thank you so much for being here.
Rightio. Well, thank you, Malcolm. He was the first person I ever heard speak about remigration. I think the 2.9 million immigrants brought in on visas, they were all lied to. They were all lied to. Sold a broken Australia. So I think they need to go. They need to go, and we need to put your kids first. And we need to put your house first, your castle first. On the side here, we've got a flyer from Family Voice. There's a QR code for the Castle Law. Rob Catter. This is who we're supporting when you sign this QR code. It's just around the side. Come get them at the end. You'll see me. We'll have these flyers, right? We'll get someone to hand these out. Come here, mate. This is a family. This is a family. This is what happens when you have a great dad, right? And he's going to get his kids doing the same, and you're going to get your kids to do the same, and it's Australia first.
Thank you. This is beautiful. I should say before I start, there was a lot of people contacting me from the Townsville March and said, it was just a beautiful thing to watch on TV. I wish I could have been there. So there's a lot of people out west and remote areas that can't be here today, that your spirit's with them and you're filling the role that they couldn't if they were here. I wanted to start with something first. I love Australia. Let's hear it from you. It's not that hard to say. I was trying to think about what to say today, what's most important, why am I here? I think we all have that urge, that nationalistic urge, and there's something in us that's been there for a lot through our country's history. What is that unity purpose? What was it gnawing away at me that wanted to be at that first march? What was it that brought me here? And that made me reflect, what's the problem then? And where I zeroed down in is, what the problem for me is there's a lot of people out there that are afraid to wave the flag around in the public. They feel intimidated or bullied to put the flag up in the house. They feel ashamed to say, I love Australia. We say, I love Australia. We're proud to say it. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's where I see the problem. I did a speech in Parliament on this march on Thursday, and I was ostracised. I was a pariah. And then that's for the first time I've been a pariah in Parliament. It's usually the way it is. But that's what they're doing out there, and I think that's the need for us to come together like this, is because they're going to make it increasingly harder for all those other people out there that aren't here today. They're going to make it increasingly harder for them to stand up and say, no, that's not right. We don't want to see our flag burn on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. That's not going to happen. We're not going to celebrate when 1,000, 2,000 people are killed over at a music festival in Israel. We're not going to celebrate that. We don't tolerate that in Australia. But we're getting increasingly scared, and politicians are the worst, getting scared and scared to stand up. And I think that's a really big reason why we need to come together. And so we are willing to stand up, and we can turn these things around. There's the obvious things we've talked about today, and you know about immigration, the economic side of things, and the housing, and the stress it puts on us. The usual analogy they put on from Mount Isa out west, and they say carrying capacity in a cattle paddock. If you're trying to run too many cattle, you'll soon run a gutser. But I don't want to focus on it. I want to focus on the cultural element of it, the cultural implications. So, again, if we're talking to people out there, they say, well, what is it? What is our country then? What's our values? And if you think about that, it's not just land and resources, is it? We're not just real estate for someone to come over here and occupy while they want to get some work and try and earn some money. It's not that. It's a lot more than that. Because people didn't go out of Gallipoli and Tobruk and Kokoda and die for something just for a bit of real estate and some resources. There's a lot more than that. There was a spirit there that's imbibed here today. There's a spirit in those people that got them going, that made them want to die for their country. We're a community. We're a national community, and that's something sacred. That's something to be preserved. And there's people that don't like our community. They come to this country and they not only are they indifferent to it, some of these people, but they're actually aggressive against it. They want to impose their country, bring it over here, cut and paste it into ours. And that's a problem. And that is something to fight against and stand up against. Again, why we are here. I use the example, I think it's a good analogy. Again, speaking of those people out here, I live in Mount Isa, a mining town, and we talk about FIFO. People come into town, they work there, and they say we live here, but usually they don't think much of the place. I say, Mount Isa's no good, we've been out there, it's not much, because they're not part of the community. And they won't be working at the fete, and they won't be helping out and volunteering, because that's not their fault, they're just not part of the community, that's not it. You come over from overseas and you don't want to be here. If you don't want to get involved, you don't want to embrace our culture, embrace what we are, we'll go back and find another country. We don't want you. We want people here that have that same spirit, that want to come together, that want that unity, and that's the sort of thing that people would defend and fight for. I think a lot of these people, I don't think any of these people coming in now that's showing this aggression towards their country, they certainly wouldn't fight for a country. I think they might end up fighting against it. I think they'd welcome in invaders. And that's, I'm not kidding, I think that's a real problem. It's impossible in this country to have a value-free zone. You can't have a vacuum on values. And there's all these cringe topics people talk about. You can't talk about immigration, you can't talk about religion. We were founded, our grandparents and our great-grandparents, like it or not, they founded their country on Christianity, on Christian values. That's what happened. That's the history. That's what brought us to where we are today. And there are some cultures and religions are incompatible with that. And you can't put the two together. It's not a melting pot. It's and they served us pretty well. Look after your fellow man. Look after, bring those people falling behind. Look after them. Let's have unity of purpose. That's what we inherited, and that's what got us to where we are. Why are we so ashamed to embrace that? And why do they keep attacking that and try to make us feel embarrassed or ashamed when we say that and loudly proclaim that? We need to own that ground again. So today, I'm just so very grateful, all Australians participating, standing up. It is brave. It takes a lot to wave that flag in front of people and take that criticism. And you've done it stoically, peacefully. And for that, I give thanks and I give praise to you. As political parties, I commit to you, the KAP, we'll be working with all other parties, Malcolm and One Nation. We'll support any of those ones that are out there pushing in the same direction. We've got to come together and support each other against these uniparties that keep going weak at the knees and they get scared and they keep bending over for all this stuff. We've got to stand up against that and we've got to do that together. I love Australia.
Thanks, Robbie. What a legend. What a great, I bet he's a great dad, and he has a great dad. Keep being good dads, eh? Woo! We've got a man right here, Damien Curry's got a show, The Other Side. Tune in on YouTube, he speaks a lot of common sense. Thanks for what you do, mate.
Pleasure, mate. How are you? How's everybody feeling? This is bloody great. Folks, I'm here to talk to you about the media. I used to be in the media. And the media would like to tell us that we're all racists. Well, a lot of us, like me and like Robbie, are descendants of immigrants. I've got Lebanese immigrants on one side, a few generations back, and I've got Irish on the other. And criticising bad immigrants it more than doubled to 250,000 a year. That was Labor's big Australia. After COVID, we saw net overseas migration of just under 1 million in 2 years. That is grossly irresponsible. And the speed of immigration into a country of only 27 million of 1 million in 2 years is insane. As the Americans say, you don't guard your borders carefully because you hate the people on the outside. but because you love the people on the inside.
One that starts with
The biggest problem Australia's facing now is not hate. It's that the left don't love the people on the inside enough.
They don't love
And it's that the left has control over all of our cultural institutions, our commercial media, our bloody national broadcaster, our universities, our high school classrooms, our primary school classrooms, our parliaments, even our major supposedly centre-right political party has been left-wing infiltrated to some extent. Our government bureaucracy, our corporate bureaucracy, our entertainment industries, and even our investment sector, who control what things that trillions of superannuation dollars get invested into, are under the influence of leftist boards, those industry super and public sector super funds. It is a tangled, tight web of leftism. And this tight web is so dominant and all-pervasive in the Australia of the 2020s in a way it wasn't at any other time that unfortunately we don't even notice it. We're like fish swimming in water. We know something feels different. We know it's a bit off. And we feel like we may be a bit odd sometimes thinking that, but it is very, very real. It drives who gets hired and who doesn't. It drives who gets investment money and who doesn't. It drives which government programs get funding and which don't, and which media outlets get advertising dollars and which don't. And so big government works hand in hand with big corporates and big unions, and workers and small business people lose their power and their freedom. Sensible small immigration is okay, but it is not racist to demand something from immigrants in return like our ancestors gave. Australia is more than country to be welcome to. It is a nation to belong to. And there is a reasonable price to pay for admission to an already established enterprise. And that price is a commitment to integrate and assimilate, like our ancestors did, to adapt to norms of behaviour and dress, to the rule of law, to learning the language and the history of the nation, to accepting the dominant religion and at least understanding it, even if you don't practice it. And the dominant religion is Christianity. Suggesting this isn't racist, it's got nothing to do with race. It's essential for survival of any people. Ask our friends in Japan or China. You can't become a citizen of those countries very easily if you're not actually Chinese or Japanese, and good on them. Australia and Australians of all origins and backgrounds have got a right to preserve and protect themselves and their culture as much as any other people. We've got to resist every attempt to attack free speech. E-Safety Commission's got to be shut down. We're going to resist all of these attempts for a national digital ID and to censor what we're saying online, because the media is all we've got, and when we're gone, when the independent media is gone, we are really stuffed. So please support new and emerging independent media like my show, The Other Side. It's The Other Side Australia on YouTube. Just type in The Other Side Australia, it'll come up. Dusty works with us. We have Scotty Shallam on all the time, so please join us and all the other guys that you've heard speaking tonight. So thanks very much, everybody. Please give to the people who are doing the hard work. And in the media, turn off and stop giving to the people who are not serving you. Thank you.
Thanks, Damo. He made a good point there, because can you trust any of the social media platforms? Not necessarily either. See this man here with the core flute QR code? That QR code will take you to the Queensland March for Australia website. Because we really don't trust even Twitter. Can you trust any of them? We want to stay in contact with you, so, you know, follow Damo, use the social media, back every single Australian first person, but we want you to sign up. We want to stay in contact, because they could get rid of us like that. March for Australia could be gone tomorrow, and you can stay in contact with us. Our next speaker, George Christensen. This man's been in the game. He got out of politics, he got back into politics, and he's got a lot of fight in him.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Aren't you a good-looking bunch? As good-looking as Dusty over here. And I'm loving the signs. I think we found the perfect reason against mass migration with a sign that I can't see but was over here, where the guy's telling us he married the perfect Latina. He wants the gate shut before his mother-in-law gets here. But Australians, this is our line in the sand. They told you that you were a minority. They told you that you were a fringe. They told us that we were finished. But look around you right now. We are not alone. We're not fringe. But we are rising. They tried to divide us. They tried to silence us. They've tried to shame us. But here we are. We're loud and we're proud because we are done with being silent. And here's the awful truth, ladies and gentlemen. This government, the Albanese government, hates you. The last one, that sadly I was a part of, sold us out. And the next one is not going to save us either. Labor, Liberal, Greens, Teals, they've all betrayed Australia. They've betrayed you and your children. They promised unity but gave us division. They promised strength but they made you a second-class citizen in your own nation. They promised diversity but they've delivered destruction. Our suburbs are now fractured. Our streets are lawless. Our laws are ignored. This is not immigration. This is cultural replacement. This is not diversity. This is civilizational vandalism. We've seen Australian flags burnt in rallies in Melbourne. Last year, we saw a Christian bishop stabbed at the altar in his own church in Sydney. Postcodes have become ethnic enclaves and hardly recognisable as Australia. About a decade, I warned the federal parliament. I warned them about this and I said, our culture is being oppressed and supplanted by a culture that is so at odds with its host that it hates all that the host country and its people stand for. Well, they ignored it. Now we face machete attacks, child brides, forced marriages, the list goes on. And what does the government do? Well, absolutely nothing. Apart from funding more diversity programs and calling you extremists, racists and dangerous. Well, I say no. They are the danger. They are the traitors. They sold out your country for votes, for donors and for power. We're not racists, we're not extremists. We are the people that still believe in Australia. We are the people that still love this nation. We are the voice they've tried to erase. We are, you are, the resistance. So if someone's live streaming it and Albo happens to tune in while he's waiting for his meeting for Trump, here's the message from today. No more mass migration. No more division disguised as diversity. And no more cowardice from Canberra. This is our house, ladies and gentlemen. We set the rules. We welcome people here, yes, but on our terms, under our law, and within our values. Before I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, I want to honour the patriots who made today happen. Shallow Charles, Sam Banford, Dusty Bogan, Rob McMullen, Lockie Lade, Speedbot X, Aussie Integrity, and the politicians who stood tall. Senator Malcolm Roberts, Bob Katter MP, Robbie Katter MP, former Senator Jared Rennick. But lastly, this fight isn't the politicians' fight, it's your fight. It's our fight. We fight for truth. We fight for our kids. We fight for our nation. We fight today, we fight tomorrow, and we will never, ever back down. This is our moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is our land. Let's take it back and let's make Australia, Australia again.
George Christensen. He's been at it for a while. He's one of the people here who have spoken, who are politicians. You know, it's not such a disappointing word, isn't it? But they are all Australian first. We've got a man here, Bob Katter. He's coming up. He's like the grandfather of Queensland. He is the embodiment of Queensland. When he put that cowboy hat on my head, and I almost passed out. There's something incredible about him. The Holy Spirit occupies the man. Jesus Christ bless this man. He's going to tell us something today. The Spirit of Australia is coming alive in every single one of you.
I love movies, and the most moving scene I ever saw in a movie was in Saving Private Ryan. And the first scene in the movie is a lady at the washing tub doing the washing, and a black car limousine pulls up, and two men in black suits come up the driveway, and she stands in the doorway, and she's advised that her 3 children are dead in the war, and everything that's in that woman just dissolves. She just sort of melts into the floor. And I thought, my great-great-grandmother got that telegram, and my great-grandmother also got that telegram. And we lost a son, Gallipoli, and we lost another son in the Second World War. But if you are a Sikh and you come to this country, and 2 minutes later, as many of them are, proud flag-waving Australians, you are just as much an Australian as I am. Having said that, I don't say, I don't want to hesitate to say that the forces of evil are abroad. And I've got to mention Tony Burke by name, which I very seldom do. Which I very seldom do in politics. And because he's the leader of the House, I'm burning up a lot of, power that I'll have in the power. But I'm going to burn it up. Because he brought in 2,000 Gazans without any reference to the people of Australia. Now the Gazans are people that come from the same area and are part of Hamas. They murdered 3,000 people in New York. They murdered 1,200 people crossing the border into Israel. And they murder people all of the time. And the people they murder, I might add, are Christians. And go to Nigeria today, and I was with 2 Nigerians a couple of days ago in Mount Isa, and they said they're just murdering us all the time. If you're a Christian, you get murdered. And that's what Tony Burke brought to Australia. Just in one day, 2,000. Now, I got some really bad news for you, because the Liberals actually brought most of these people in. In the last 12 years, please, in the last 12 years, they brought 4 million people into Australia. 4 million. Now, in the next 12 years, they'll bring another 8 million at that rate. And they're now 1/3 of Australia. And in the next 10 years, they'll be a majority. Our country will not be our country. They will be the majority. And our party says, no migration without assimilation. Now ask the question, do you come from a country with democracy? No. Do you come from a country with rule of law? No. Do you come from a country with Christianity? And I'm not apologising for that, I can tell you. No. Do you come from a country with industrial awards? No. Then what the hell are you bringing them for into this country? Now, 92% of them, and most of them come out of the Liberal Party, 92% of them went to Sydney and Melbourne. There are no jobs in Sydney and Melbourne. All secondary industry's gone, closed down. Factories are gone, closed down. So what the hell are they doing in Sydney and Melbourne? They're doing nothing, but you're paying for them. You're paying for them. You're paying for them. It's our money that is looking after them here. And why wouldn't you come to this country? You've got a few kids, you get 60 grand a year for doing nothing, sitting on your backside, and you get a free house as well. I want to say this. You know, I feel very strongly about this now. The situation has come to a point where, for me personally, I'm part of the Gumtree movement, right? The Gumtrees. And we're going to make a statement. Every week we're going to make a statement. And our first statement is no migration without assimilation. No migration without...
And add myself to the stage. So this looks like we've run into a little bit of a challenge here. Not sure what's going on. Give me half a second. Yeah, I would suggest that our streamer, Emma McGowan, or I think it's McGowan, had a little bit of a challenge there with her phone probably going flat. Give me half a second. I have another option. Well, so courtesy of Joel Jamal, we will be able to continue on. Oh, hang on. I have to.
Unassisted.
Right, now you
and
have
I
sound.
said 28. He said 28. And I said 28. And he said, you know how many men left Port Moresby? Yeah, 783 men left Port Moresby. 783 men left Port Moresby. And all that was left was 28. Are we going to let those people down? Those men down? No! Are we going to let those people down? No! No! So, don't shout, you know, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Shout Australians ever. Australians ever. Forever. Never, never, never. Australians forever. Australians forever! Australians forever!
Thanks very much. That was awesome. Alrighty, we're almost at the pointy end here, guys. I have got 7 of these amazing freedom hats courtesy of Turning Point Australia, and I just want to give them a big shout out. Turning Point Australia, and the reason why is because they live streamed this event all over the world today. All over the world. They had cameras here, they had cameras in every capital city. I don't know if anybody has tuned in yet to what's happened in Melbourne today, but do you know why we're here? Because I don't want to end up like that. Rubber bullets, tear gas, burning flags. Seriously, take me down there. I'm ready to start cracking heads. I'm going to give away 7 of these, but in order to get one, you need to register on our QR code because we want to send you emails and keep you updated with what's about to unfold from March for Australia. So, have you registered yet?
Yes.
Good, because we need your help. Because March for Australia Queensland, we are our own franchise up here. We are March for Australia Queensland. We've got our own website, we've got our own socials, and we are going to mobilise Queenslanders, and we are going to save the country. Yeah! That's what's going to happen. So if you want to win one of these hats, jump on there. We've also got a lucky dip $250 Bunnings voucher to give away to someone who registers as well, courtesy of a very generous benefactor, and they weren't Zionists either. That's for the guys in the crowd that love that stuff.
Just one little blurb. Hey, George Christian, we need you, mate. You got to saddle up again, George.
Bring George back to politics. What do you reckon? Do we need to get Jared Rennick re-elected? Yeah. Do we need to make sure that Malcolm stays in too? Yeah. These are our heroes. What do we need our politicians to do? We need them to come under one umbrella. We need them to work together. What does the Australian people want? We want them to work together. We're sick of the infighting. We're sick of the factionalism. It's time to stand for Australia. We want you guys to work together for us. And that's what we demand here today.
Thank you, everybody. We got a few things. I don't know if you saw, we were hanging up Aussie flags. I said to the police, I said, is that illegal what we did? I don't think it is. You see all these guys with concrete, call Jim, mowing. So we've been banging up Australian flags all around. We did it on the weekend. We did it on that bridge. It was a bit dangerous. Some guy named Dave almost fell off the bridge. So raise the flag. There is a March for Australia also has another Twitter page, which is Raise the Flag. You can, if you raise your flag in your backyard, anywhere, if you hang up flags in the public, send them a DM on Twitter, on Facebook with your flag raised, because they'll share it publicly. They're also doing Australia Voice. You can send in, if you want to do a video saying why you came today and why you want to see the end of mass migration, you can send a video in, you can write up something, and they'll post it and share it to March for Australia's page. So get on that. We've also got Australia Month. Did you know Federation Day is January 1st, is Federation Day, right? So don't have a New Year's party. Have a Federation Day party. Get everyone around. Have a Federation Day party and bring in the new year and say, Happy Australia Month. Because from January 1st, Federation Day, we're going all the way through to Australia Day. And we demand January be recognised as Australia Month. We need a month. One day is not enough to celebrate the people who died for this country, people who pioneered this land, our families, our tradition, our culture. So get behind Australia Month. Get behind Raise the Flag. Get behind Australia Voice. Because all them other voices, they're not Australia first. We're Australia first. Get that QR code. Sign up. And we're going to be back here on Australia Day. We're going to have the biggest Australia Day. We're taking back Australia. And I know all them speakers today, it was roughly 3 minutes each. And do you know what? This is about you. It's not about them. It's not about me. This is about you and your family. This is about your kids and your grandkids. So Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Rob's going to take us out. We are going to celebrate Australia. God bless you all. Thank you. See you next time.
Give it up for Dusty. Best MC ever. We're not done yet. Ladies and gents, I need your beautiful voices to help me with this one. We're going to change the words to We Don't Want Anyone. Don't tell me this is paradise.
All right, guys. Well, that was pretty cool. That was very cool. Those speeches, everything. Bob Katter, Robbie Katter, George Christensen, Damien Curry, everyone, all the speeches, Scott Challen, Lockie Lade. Brisbane is the shining light today. I've really been enjoying sitting in the corner, having a burger, enjoying the show. I hope you guys have been enjoying it too. The views from
Better unmute myself and pause that. So thank you to Turning Point for that last little bit of video there. So just to give a shout out to Turning Point Australia. There's also a Turning Point South Australia branch that's been formed here. But what we've seen over this is that everybody is still out there looking for a solution. And I think the more we get behind this, the more we talk about our culture and keeping our culture and keeping our patriotism, the better off we're going to be. Yes, there are politicians there, but we've got to use every weapon in our arsenal. So that means if we can put some decent politicians into play, all right, like One Nations, like those guys that were up there today talking, then we need to do that. And if you think you're successful by saying, I don't believe in the corporate government, I'm not going to vote for them, well, congratulations. You're just giving them the win. You're just handing it to them. So think carefully about it. Next time it comes to voting, maybe we should be looking at making One Nation, perhaps, or any of those particular freedom parties that are fairly substantial, and giving them a good chance to get in there and make some changes. Wouldn't it be really interesting if it suddenly came down to the two-party preferred system, where it would be Labor and, say, One Nation? That would be interesting. Anyway, guys, the Australia flag's out there. What we need to do now, between now and then, is we need to go out and we need to talk it up for the 26th. We've got to get in there, get the people active. There's plenty of subjects to talk about. You heard them all on stage today. I don't need to repeat them. But we need to constantly push this. So with that, and apologies from Carl, because his system had a hissy fit. And I had a couple of little issues as well. I'm not quite sure why that was, but one was my own mistake. I accidentally hit a key and it dropped the signal on you guys. But I hope you enjoyed our stream. It's been nearly 4 hours long. Like and subscribe, please. Everything we got there. There's and I'd like to say thank you to the stringers that we had out there today, trying to get that stuff there, plus the things from Chris Discovery. He always does a wonderful job, so we'll give him the kudos and the credits for that, along with a couple of people from TikTok. Emma was our last streamer there, so thank you, Emma, for that as well. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get all of the areas covered, so you guys are also part of Australia's resistance. So with that, I'd like to say goodbye from me and goodbye from Carl. Actually, sorry. Goodbye from Carl. And with that, all I say is keep the faith, keep our culture, and we'll see you Monday, I would suggest, with another stream from Carl and a whole heap of more information, especially about what happened in Melbourne. Now I'm interested. I wonder how they're going to spin that. All right, everybody, stay good, stay fair. I need to do the one and only and the most typical. For those of you who are at the rallies, please remember, right, you do have to actually drive home. Right? So watch out for those dickheads.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!